What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the WWE Elimination Chamber matches tier. Um, I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with the person that's been on this ride doing videos with me pretty much since back in 2015. He's basically become the co-host of the Retro Wrestling Review series, WWE Aftershock, and any other series we've done in this channel. He was here for the first episode. Chris Dodd, what's going on, Chris?
Oh, nothing much. Just excited to do another tier
I
list. Let's go.
Yeah,
Exciting.
and this time we're not doing it alone. Typically when people do a new series on the channel, they don't have like a bunch of people on there to do it at once. They typically just kind of keep it to two people. But yeah, we made a mistake.
Not
Yeah, not
us.
us. We go all the way. So we have the other person that's gonna be helping us out do this. He is an enemy of all tables out there, and he's got so many nicknames that I don't know what nickname he's gonna have this episode. Steve Steiner, Lachlan Rampage, all this stuff. What's going on?
Not too much, not too much. I'm glad to be back on. Looking forward to doing the tier list.
I know you got to watch the first one of how this was done, so it will be interesting to see how this happens. I mean, and then we have you know, we have a contract. He shows up part time. He's pretty much the Brock Lesnar, not so much the Roman Reigns. Maybe the Roman Reigns of this channel now. He shows up when he feels like it. Ken Tut, John Tutty, what's going on?
Mm, I'm the part-time champion.
Well, you're not a champion though. You're not a champion though. So
That's what you think.
there you go. Uh, but yeah, obviously, this is gonna be the toughest for you because you fell out of wrestling doing some of these chamber matches, so you haven't even seen some of these chamber matches. So it's gonna be tough for you to rank these tier
I
list. Oh,
I try to cram as many of these that I haven't seen.
yeah. How many of it? What?
So pretty much anything post 2019 I have
Okay.
probably haven't
Okay.
seen.
That's not that many. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's anything. I think it's after the Kofi Mania is the last one.
Okay.
I remember, like
So yeah. This is gonna be a fun one to do. So yeah, as you can see, this time I smotened up. This time I'm sharing my screen. Everybody can see this. They're gonna see it the whole video. It's not gonna be Chris Dodd looking around wondering what list I'm going off. I actually smotened up. Um, and I made this tier list. I updated a little bit more this time. Because the series is actually gonna end up sticking. So we have different tiers of where we're gonna put this. We have Hall of Fame, and Hall of Fame is like the absolute best. Not much of a problem with the chamber match or anything like that. It's just that great. It's just that awesome. Great is like great, but it's not perfect match. And then good is just good. It was a good chamber match. We didn't hate ourselves watching it and everything like that. Average is just kind of like it was middle of the road. It wasn't a terrible match, but it really didn't do much for us. And trash is just like just trash. It was a terrible match. Everything about it was awful. This time I color coded it. I basically went off which colors I like the best, so you can tell I don't like the color orange. So that's why it's in the trash category. That's why that's that color. So yeah, we're just gonna start talking about these. We have 32.
Child.
Well, I'm not childish, so but yeah, let's just get started with this. We have 32 Elimination Chamber matches to do. So we're going to do each one of them. I will say this now. This is probably going to go up after this year's Elimination Chamber just because of time frame. And plus, too, it's going to take a while to edit this. So the current Elimination Chamber matches haven't happened yet. So, yeah. And, I'm the only one that went back and watched every single Elimination Chamber match. But everybody, at least here, at some point has seen at least every single Elimination Chamber match. I just have the most fresh perspective on it because I crammed it all in like a couple weeks to watch it. So, yeah, let's get started. We're going to do this chronologically this time. We did the Royal Rumble one kind of all over the place, but this time, since, Elimination Chamber airs chronologically, we're going to do this one chronologically. So, We're going to start with the very first Elimination Chamber match. This is from Survivor Series 2002. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was between World Heavyweight Champion Triple H, Chris Jericho, Booker T, Kane, Rob Van Dam, and Shawn Michaels. And Chris, this is the first one. This is probably the one this is kind of was around when you were a kid and everything like that. Why don't you kind of talk about this Elimination Chamber match? Kind of talk about, what you liked and disliked about it and everything like that.
I really didn't dislike anything about it. That all the competitors were should have been in there. That were in there. Those are like some of the top guys in the promotion at the time. Super great elimination chamber. But yeah, it's just I saw no issues with it.
All right, there you go. As for me, obviously, this was introduced by. This is the kayfabe thing, anyways. Eric Bischoff, he wanted to outdo SmackDown with the main event of Elimination Chamber. This was just fantastic. And just a really great Elimination Chamber match. Everybody that in it made sense. They were all in some type of feud with each other. Triple H was an Iron Man in this match. He went through the whole match, basically, and, lasted all the way through up until the end. And he worked this match pretty much with the Crush Lonix, throughout most of the match and everything. It's obviously known for Rob Van Dam's big 5-star frog splash. Kane was the big man in the match. He was great in it. And, this was everybody that Triple H had feuded with and, tried to get away from. This was Shawn Michaels, second match in. This was his first world title win since he had been back because he had been gone for a while. Just everything about this match works. So it's really choreographed really well. All the spots really work. It tells a great story. I think it's a fantastic chamber match. The only thing we can say that's like a dislike, and it's not even about the match itself, it's the attire, unfortunately, that Shawn Michaels decided to wear for this match. Those brown pants. It's like, oh, come on, Shawn. Like, why'd you have to wear that?
The shit browns.
Yep. So, yeah,
H. My favorite part's the fact it's just H.
Yep.
He didn't have time to put the BK on the bottom. It's just H on the side of his tights.
But yeah, so I think it's an awesome chamber match. It was a great introduction to it, and I think without this great introduction, I don't think they would have brought this chamber match back as often as they would. I think it's fantastic. You always find new things in it that you like about it too when you go back and watch it every year. So I love it. But yeah, Steve, how about you? What do you think about this chamber match and everything like that?
I kind of agree with the points that have already been said. It was a really good introduction. I feel like at this point in time, Shawn Michaels' attire is almost so disliked you almost actually like it in opposition. How much people said they hate it. It's just too funny now.
Yeah.
I think he should bring those tights back. They're a representation of how he books NXT, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
The only real dislike is, I guess, RVD obviously messing up the 5-star, but that's just because they were figuring the match out, and unfortunately they figured out the hard way. You can't really jump off of a pod going up. You just go out. That's that.
You blew his knee out too, right? That's what.
But yeah, and other than that, I mean, the match was great. I love going back and watching this one. Great competitors all around, and I always look back at it and say, it's funny because that was supposed to be War Games.
Yep.
And Vince threw a hissy fit saying he didn't want War Games, but if Eric could come up with an alternative, he'd go with it. And credit to Eric Bischoff, he took a chicken shit decision and turned it to chicken salad.
Yeah, it's still around to this day. Because now they can do War Games pretty much now. So but it's good that they kept the chamber around. John, anything else?
Yes.
Anything else you want to say about this chamber match that hasn't already been said?
No. I mean, all the main points are brought up. This is Shawn Michaels' last title win. it was a great moment with the confetti falling, the horrible tights, Triple H's crushed larynx. Um, Probably the best of these elimination chambers. I think this was the very best one. It set the bar really high. Let's say the other ones are, you know, there's a lot of good chamber matches, but this one is top tier.
Oh yeah, I meant to do this in the beginning. How does everyone feel about the elimination? I probably should have asked you this before we actually started talking about this, but I forgot. Like, does everyone like the elimination chamber as a concept? Are they indifferent on it? How does everyone like feel about the elimination chamber match? I guess we'll go around. I personally like the elimination chamber match. I think it's been like a great concept. Obviously it's been watered down throughout the years, which we'll get to. But I love it. How does everybody else? Steve, how do you feel about the elimination chamber as like a concept and everything?
I love the Elimination Chamber. I just wish they would be a little more like definitive on what it represents. Whereas you win the Royal Rumble, you go to WrestleMania. I wish they would make it a little more definitive, like be like, hey, Rumble winner, you have until the Elimination Chamber to make your decision. That way, the Chamber competitors know they're going for the other.
Yeah, that
title.
would make sense. I don't mind that. Yeah.
I wish they would make that a little more definitive. And I wish maybe, if you're like part of the last two, maybe the final four, then you're automatically, and like if you're part of the final two, I'd say you should automatically be entered into the chamber. And then, from there, maybe look at who like the final competitors in the match are and base your qualifiers off of those guys.
What about you, Chris? How do you feel about the elimination chamber as like a concept?
I love it. I thought it was a very unique innovation when it first came out. When Eric first introduced it, sold it amazingly well. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan of it.
And John, how do you feel about the chamber as like a concept?
I think it's the last great idea that WWE's had. It really depends though on who's in the chamber. I mean, we'll get to them later. There's have been not great chamber competitors in this match.
Yeah.
I prefer it if they just did one chamber per show.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing two.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Because yeah, like I agree. Because one always overshadows the other and everything like that. So, but yeah, let's get back to the first one. Are we all in agreement? First one goes into Hall of Fame.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
John, is it first one in Hall of Fame? Okay.
Yep.
Let's move on to the second Elimination Chamber. This one took place at SummerSlam 2003. It was, again, for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was Triple H, again, defending the champ. You're going to notice a trend here for, like, a little bit. Well, I guess this is the first three, but Triple H, again, defending the title against Chris Jericho, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, and Goldberg. Steve, why don't you kind of, like, break us down to this one? Because this obviously is a little drop in quality. And honestly, it's for, like, really one big reason. I feel like we would rank this match higher if a certain thing probably didn't happen. But when you kind of talk about it, Steve.
Yeah, so the build-up to this match was pretty simple. And it's one word, and it's Goldberg. Goldberg was riding that hot, undefeated streak going into this match. Since he came to WWE, he got his streak back. He got some of that lost momentum, that he didn't have toward the end of WCW back. So going into this, all eyes were on Goldberg. I'm not going to steal the thunder of Chris or John, whoever gets to it first, to discuss the Goldberg-Jericho spot. I'll let them take care of that. But this was the one where I think Triple H had the biker shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's obviously just for his injury, so you can't really get on him as much as you can, Shawn Michaels, but still something funny to mention. Triple H, Jericho, Goldberg, Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash, looking like he's about to star in The Punisher. But yeah, the big issue with this match is you have Goldberg going in, riding this wild momentum, and he loses.
Yeah.
Like, fairly clean enough. I mean, it was a sledgehammer shot, but it's an elimination chamber. All's fair. So, you know, it was stupid. It was incredibly stupid. If you don't want to put the title on Goldberg yet, there's no problem with that. But don't put him in the match.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, anything else you want to say about this match?
No, it's pretty mediocre.
Um,
We got fucking Punisher Kevin Nash for some.
yeah. Yeah, John, anything you want to say about this match?
Never understood that.
John, anything you want to say about this match?
I gotta give props to Triple H. I mean, I thought that Hogan had a politic game. He managed to convince the higher ups that with a torn groin that he should keep the title.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an absolute dick move, which I'm sure no one's going to disagree with. But you make
the
a
ultimate
good point.
politician.
I mean, he loses it a month later to Goldberg anyway in a one-on-one match, still with the bicycle shorts.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And I mean,
so Goldberg comes in, murders everybody, except for Kevin Nash, because we can't have Goldberg pin Nash. But kills everybody, and then one hammer shot, and it's kill that momentum.
If you're gonna have Goldberg get eliminated, why not have it beat Kevin Nash? He's proven he can do it before. Have him do it before, and you can start up. I mean, I get it. This is 2003 Kevin Nash, and I'm not saying that what I'm saying is a good idea. I'm just saying it's better than Triple H game on him. Nash hits that jackknife, and then you have all this blood feud from WCW coming back. Interesting. Not the best thing on earth, but it's better.
Yeah.
If they had Goldberg win, I think people look on this match a lot more fondly than they actually do, which pretty much knocks it down to probably average.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the tiers here, probably average.
Yeah.
I'm going with average.
Yeah, I agree. There's other reasons this match is average. Again, I think the Goldberg thing really affects it. Also, too, Kevin Nash's appearance really didn't need to happen in this match. He really doesn't. He's not much of a factor in this match. I think he does a few things, and then he gets hit with like one sweet chin music, and then he's just done. And then he just goes on a rampage. And I think this was this. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Was this Kevin Nash's last match in WWE before he went to TNA? Because he was gone right after this, right? I'm pretty sure.
That's a notable one.
I believe it was.
It was.
He came back after Mania. He faced Hunter in 2 bad matches. And then there's the chamber here that he's never seen again.
So yeah, I gotta put this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always say that that Hell in a Cell match holds a special place in my heart because that was the first Hell in a Cell match I watched live. But I went back and watched it a couple of years ago. It's at best, it's
So I gotta put this into the.
It's just violent.
I think we're all in agreement. We put this 03 chamber match into the average category. Again, we probably feel differently had Goldberg won the title and everything like that. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
John, are you in? John, you're the one. You agreed with it, so yeah, we're putting the average category. But yeah, then we have the 05 Elimination Chamber match. This was at New Year's Revolution 2005. It was for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. It was Triple H versus Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho versus Edge versus Randy Orton versus Batista with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. This was in Puerto Rico. It was like one of the first times WWE did like a big show in Puerto Rico. not the best Puerto Rico show. We've had a better one since then, but it's still cool that it happened. Yeah, I think this is a great Elimination Chamber match here. They start out really well with the first two being Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. It's kind of our first mini introduction of Edge becoming a main eventer. He was kind of starting to really break out at this time, and the way he gets screwed over by Shawn Michaels is pretty cool, and also very Shawn Michaels of him. They were the biggest thing of the match is the tease between Batista breaking away from Evolution. You know, everyone kind of thought it was going to happen. They teased it really well in this match, but eventually it doesn't happen. They do a really good tease where like it looked like Triple H could have saved Batista from elimination, but he just didn't. And obviously it's implied that he could have saved him, but it's obviously up for debate. This was kind of Randy Orton's real last hurrah as a babyface in 2004. It pretty much flopped. Well, it was already flopping, but it was pretty much over after this. But he even looks good in this chamber match. They had some really good spots in the chamber match. The only thing that's like a good spot, but you can't really watch in hindsight, is Chris Benoit doing like his big head, his diving headbutt off one of the pods. Obviously, if you know about the Chris Benoit situation, it's not easy, but yeah, I like this chamber match. I would probably put it in the great category. I think it tells a great story, and I think everybody looks really good in this chamber match. And there's even that good part, by the way, where Batista was the last guy to come in, and Triple H is like stuck in like the walls of Jericho in the crossface. And this ended up being like a legitimate thing. Like they couldn't get his pod open, but it made it better because like it made the drama of it pretty well. But I really like this chamber match. I think it's really great. Obviously, it being in Puerto Rico too was a different environment, so like the crowd reaction was cool too. I do kind of question why Shawn Michaels was the guest referee. It just kind of felt weird. It did work for the match, but it was just random, but it was fine. Chris, we'll start with you. How do you feel about this like chamber match right here, 2005?
I thought it was good. Again, this is like right on the ascend for the Animal, right? Like this is when they started to strap the rocket ship to his back. And pretty few months after this, he makes the big turn. So, yeah, I thought this was pretty good.
All right, John, how do you feel about the 05 Elimination Chamber match?
I thought it was good. I thought it was in terms of progressing the stories they want to tell. Like they make Edge look like kind of like a paranoid heel, and obviously later on in the month he's fourth in the Rumble,
yep.
I think. So they're gearing him up to be a main event. I think the stuff, the pre-match stuff. I don't know if you guys saw the promo backstage between Batista and Hunter.
Yep.
Or Triple H come in all hot and heavy, like you shouldn't have. It's like why are you telling them you're going for the world title? You're here to serve me. You're my backup. And Batista kind of I was like, hey, I'm not giving away my strategy. Unless you get eliminated before I get in. So I thought it was a great tease, and obviously Hunter. It's great camera shot of Hunter. Looks like he's gonna get up in the corner to break up the pin, and then he just slumps back down like, oh, I can't do it. And then immediately after Bate gets up and starts beating the crap out of him.
It's really good, yeah.
Like a half a second. Orton's wedgie. It's just a bad day at the office for him, and he's just a bad babyface. This is not him coming out like trying to fire up the crowd.
Like at that point in time, yeah, he was a horrible babyface.
And you know who will tell you how bad of a babyface Randy Orton was?
Yep.
Randy Orton.
Exactly.
He has gone on record several times saying he knew it was a bad idea, and he tried his heart out every week. He basically come back and say, hey, I just want to let you know I gave that my all, and it was still just awful. And Bruce Pritchard was like, yeah, we know.
It feels like when Seth first turned to babyface, when Triple H just pedigreed him to cost him the Universal title. It's like, okay, you didn't really turn. It's just Triple H is an a-hole, and it doesn't like you.
Thankfully, that's around the period of time where Triple H was, I guess we'll say, using his power for good. He decided, okay, well, me put one of my me putting my first choice guy over isn't working, so let's go with Plan B, and Plan B worked.
Yep. And obviously Orton turns heel, I think in February. I think like not even like a month after this, he's back being a heel, and has the
Yeah.
great program with Taker to really elevate him.
Yeah. RKO, it's Stacy Keibler.
Yeah. So yeah, let's we gotta put this somewhere. I put this. I thought this was a great chamber match, so I would put it in the great category. But I'm willing to compromise and put in the good if everyone else feels that way. But so, what do you guys think this falls? I guess we'll start with John. Do you think this is good or great?
I probably put it in the great
Okay.
category, mainly because of all of the little moments setting up, in terms of setting up for good payoff later. With the guy in the corner, Edge being built up, I think everything was. I think it should deserve to be in the great category.
Steve, what do you think this goes?
I would put it in the great category as well. I mean, ordinarily with Triple H winning again, I might be tempted to go lower, but considering where everything goes from here, it deserves to be in the great category.
What about you, Chris? You kind of outvoted, but I'll still have you have let you have a voice.
No, it's I think it should be in that. I think it should be in the great category too.
I will say
It's a really good chamber.
I will say one other criticism. It's not even about the match itself, but they should have just had Triple H go into this match as champion instead of have the title be vacated. But that's it didn't hurt the match too much. It was just really it just felt like they wanted to add another world title like reign to Triple H. Just like go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I couldn't remember why he was. I couldn't remember why he got the title vacated.
It was a triple threat match between him, Benoit, and Edge, and Edge tapped out at the same time that Benoit's shoulders were pinned, so they held the title up for vacancy. Yeah.
Then we have the next year later, New Year's Revolution 2006. It's another Elimination Chamber match, but now it's for a different World Championship. It's for the WWE Championship. It's between WWE Champion John Cena, Carlito, Kane, Chris Masters, Shawn Michaels, and Kurt Angle. Very good chamber match here, I think. This is actually the first chamber match that I ever watched. It's really like one of the first wrestling things I really watched because I had the DVD when I was a kid. And yeah, it's a hell of a chamber match. This is the first time where somebody started from number one and won the chamber match. Because typically, that never happened before. I mean, everybody knows who it is. It was John Cena. I mean, who else would it have been that would have been the first one? Every chamber match, we should say, tells like a really good different story, and this one told a really good story where the young guys, Carlito and Chris Masters, you think don't even have a chance of winning this chamber match. They're just kind of there, while you have veterans like Kane, Shawn Michaels, who've been in chamber matches, and Kurt Angle, who's not necessarily, a veteran in the chamber matches, but he's a veteran in the wrestling business. But they tell this really great story where Carlito and Chris Masters basically work together to basically eliminate everybody in the match. They do it with Kane and Shawn Michaels. They don't really get a chance to do it with Kurt Angle. He's kind of out before that happens, but it's still really great stuff. And then at the end, they're just beating down Cena, and eventually Carlito's ego takes over, and he eliminates Chris Masters. That's the only real stupid part of the chamber match, because Cena was going to clearly pass out from the Master Lock before that, and then he decides to turn on him, and then it cost him the match. It was really stupid, but it ends up working for the story of what happens next, I guess. Kurt Angle's a machine in this match. He looks really good, and I like the way he gets eliminated, where he got like a lucky super kick, and it kind of took him out and everything like that, and it worked because, it worked for their feud. You got to see Shawn Michaels and John Cena kind of mix it up one-on-one for the first time, and even though Cena wasn't still not great in the ring yet, you could just see that Shawn Michaels and John Cena just had this chemistry that you really can't explain sometimes when it comes to the wrestling business, and they just had it somehow. And then I know this isn't technically part of the match, but I think we should include it because it's what makes the match even better. Afterwards, obviously, this is most notable for the first ever Money in the Bank cash-in, where Edge, who's in his Ultimate Opportunist stage, cashes in on John Cena after he has had this chamber match, and it's basically become known of what the Money in the Bank is to this day. Again, you guys, we could discuss if we're going to make that included part of the match, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it. I really like this chamber match. I would probably put it in the Hall of Fame because that's my nostalgia. But obviously, I'm willing to compromise and put it in the great. But this time, John, we'll start with you. What do you think of this chamber match right here?
I think it's pretty good. I just find it funny. So Kurt Angle earlier in the show has this great promo where he says like, if I could tap out anybody, it would be Jesus.
And Shawn Michaels.
I just wanted to point that out because I was like, what do I?
Yeah.
He says like a lot of other stuff that I won't say here. It's a great promo, but you want to look it up. But he says basically like, I can tell these people anything, and they'll still
And they did.
cheer me. And they do. He comes out, he gets cheered, he gets eliminated first.
Oh man, is that the promo where he tells you what group of people he doesn't enjoy particularly?
Yes, same one.
Oh jeez. Oh man. Poor Davari standing there like, huh?
Oh boy,
This guy's on something.
And they still
Yep.
cheered him. What does that say about Albany?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really good match. The stupidity at the end between the Carlito and Masters. Just eliminate the guy first and then turn
Yeah.
on each other.
That happens.
This is something it's a theme in another chamber match, which we'll get to. But just take care of the guy first. Take care of the main threat.
Yep.
And of course, the post-match stuff with Edge is great. Probably the second greatest cash-in of all time, only behind Seth's. And yeah, no, I think it was really good.
Okay. Well, that's where we put this. Chris, what did you think of this chamber match right here?
I thought it was great. It's an awesome chamber, and of course, like with Cena winning was great, but the famous cash in at the end to beat a broken down, beat up John Cena was that was really, really good, and it was pretty much like the rocket ship ride there from Edge from then on out.
Yep. Steve, what do you think of this chamber match?
I mean, if you haven't figured out yet, what happens before and after a chamber matters, and that cash-in matters so much to this chamber. The fact that Cena goes the distance and then essentially just gets screwed over in the worst way possible, because at that time everyone's like, you can't do that. And then you look back at everything that's built up to it, it's like, oh, well, there's nothing that says he can't do it. So he did it. And, you start thinking, they just feel to the fire of Edge being a scumbag. Like Chris said, that's the rocket ship. The rocket ship stuttered a little bit. He loses the title to Cena at the Rumble, but once the summer hits, it's back on full force. And even before that match against Foley at Mania is one of my favorite matches of all time at WrestleMania. Yeah. Yes. And yeah, this chamber is just great. It really is.
I do want to point out something about the cash in. Sure. Edge just told a story where they didn't want to do like the post match cash in with the guys beat up. Only one guy liked the idea. It was Vince. So when Edge comes out, gives Vince the briefcase, Vince looks at him and says, "Prove me right." And obviously, we're still talking about it now, and it's still a great angle. So obviously, that's
like what. Yeah, when Vince was on, he was on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to decide where to put this. Now we have to obviously decide because it's going to factor into where we put this. We've kind of said it. Are we including the post match with Edge's cash in? Because obviously, then it's going to change. I think how we feel about this if we don't include that. So does everyone want to include that, or do you want to kind of make it its own separate thing?
I would include it. I think it matters.
Chris, do you want to include that just cash in, or do you think it's separate from the match? Okay.
Yeah.
John, what about?
I think you have to because it's like all encompassing.
I think
Okay.
you do. I think
Yeah.
you do.
I put this in Hall of Fame, but like again, I'm willing to compromise and put great because of the only thing that keeps it from Hall of Fame is obviously the end where like Carlito turns on Chris Masters at the end. But you could kind of make an argument for it, like maybe Chris Masters thought Cena did pass out to the hold, or maybe it was a way to catch him off guard. But you know, but I am willing to compromise and put this in greats. But I would put this in Hall of Fame if obviously I had the choice. But I'm a man of the people. I gotta let everyone else decide. So Steve, where do you want to put this? Hall of Fame, great. I mean, obviously you don't have to put it there. You can put it in good, average, trash.
Based on what we just said, I mean, I'll be straight with you. The chamber by itself is great, and that cash in is what elevates it to Hall of Fame.
So,
So I'm gonna, and like I said, that cash in does matter. So I'm going Hall of Fame for where I'm putting it.
John, where do you want to put this? Hall of Fame, great, good, average, trash.
So I still think it's just. I think I wouldn't argue if it's in the hall if you put it in the Hall of Fame top tier, especially with the cash in. I think it's more in kind of great, just the hair below, but I'm not gonna argue if you guys want to put.
Well, Chris has got to decide. He's either got to agree with you or he's gonna put in the Hall of Fame, and then I don't know how we're gonna decide since it's two people voting. So, Chris, where do you want to put this?
Flip a coin.
I don't have a coin, so.
I mean, I have no issue with either. If you guys want to put it in Hall of Fame, go ahead. It doesn't. I really don't. It doesn't. It's either Hall of Fame or great. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so we're gonna put it in the Hall of Fame then, since Chris said it doesn't matter to him. So, and John says he's not gonna argue, so it's going there. So, and here's a what.
Well, now we're arguing that.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Oh boy,
it's chronological. We have the. This is the first time they did two chamber matches in 1 year. Not the last time that they would. It was the from WWE ECW. December to December 2006. It's the
right in the garbage.
Let me say that match first.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I think I know what category this is going in.
But we have the extreme
Hall of Fame. Let's go.
We have the Extreme Elimination Chamber match. It's ECW World Champion. I'm sorry, Big Show defending the title against Hardcore Holly, who was replacing Sabu, because Sabu's in the picture, but he isn't actually in the match. Test, Rob Van Dam, CM Punk, and I'm missing somebody. I have it in front of me, but it's like the picture's really small. It's Big Show, Test, Rob Van Dam. Bobby Lashley, yeah, the guy that wins it. I forgot about him. I mean, John, I think you knew this was. I think you knew this was coming, but I'm gonna have you kind of talk about this match and kind of break this down and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, Hello and me and you went over this in a retro wrestling
We
review.
did.
This is the show itself is the lowest bought pay-per-view pre-network.
Yep.
This was the absolute pettiness by Vince, because Paul Heyman wanted CM Punk to win. He's the first eliminated. Whoops. That's a mistake. The false advertising to take Sabu out mid-show and replace him with main eventer Bob Holly. That's another mistake.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yikes.
We didn't put
Spark Plug.
we didn't put this out too, by the way.
Thurman Sparky Block?
Yeah, we didn't put this out in the retro because I didn't know about it back then. This was obviously right after too. He took that big table bump, so he can't even really do anything in the chamber match anyways. He's pretty much limited because he can't take any bumps onto the chamber because his back just got showed up and everything like that.
He wasn't taking any bumps anyway. Let's be honest. He saw that steel crate and said, "No, not today." They botched his elimination. You had, oh Jesus Christ. So the two people that the fans wanted to see win were Van Dam and CM Punk. They were the first two eliminated.
Because fuck the fans.
Yep. Their last three in the match were Test, Bobby Lashley, and Fat Big Show.
Yep.
Very fat.
He looks very unhealthy in this match. But And I also want to point out that all the weapons, not really used. The table doesn't get used. It's used for Lashley's to get out of the chamber, and it's never brought up again. The barbed wire baseball bat swung once, got stuck in the chamber. It's never used again. And then Bobby Lashley wins. Fans boo, whatever of them left in Augusta, or booing. Other fans chanted for refunds, and Paul Heyman was promptly fired. I think there's only one spot for this. This is probably the worst chamber match of all time. There are two going for that crown, which we'll get to, but this set the Brown standard of garbage. This should be in trash. I hate to spoil it for you, but this is absolute trash garbage wrestling. Right here.
And not the good kind of trash garbage wrestling either, like the bad kind too. Like,
oh, like you can have something that's funny. This is not funny.
I don't really think
Just downright fun.
I don't really think I need to throw it to anybody, but it's good that everybody has a voice. Steve, you never got to talk about this match on camera really before, so we're gonna this is your chance to finally do it. You want to talk about this?
No, but I will. This is just the epitome of human excrements on a television. I mean, you would think with a rant like that, John covered it all, but no. We can go on. I have no doubt you can, Owen. Chris, I have no doubt you can. This match is just that bad. This is Bobby Lashley before he was, I'm just going to say it for what it is, good. This is the era of Fat Big Show.
Yeah.
As we've already established.
This is the era of 510-pound Big Show.
This is the era, and this is when Hardcore Holly was, old Bob. He wasn't even Hardcore Holly at his peak anymore at this point. And friggin' Test, who was so hopped up on drugs that he probably had no idea what he was doing. Rest in peace to him, don't get me wrong, but
Juiced up to the gills.
It is what it is.
And he was suspended for wellness policy not long after this match, too.
He was suspended before he came back, and then basically came back, had his short ECW stint, and got suspended again for the same thing.
And then you get fired? Or...
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, the whole CM Punk thing, I mean, yeah, you can argue Punk wasn't ready for a main title push, but, let's not kid ourselves. It's WWECW. He can be the face of that brand, and ultimately, in Vince's grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
Yep.
Like, yeah, they did that moment where Taker had everybody in the ring a couple months later where it's Lashley, Cena, and Batista. And I remember even as a kid, me and my brother were joking like, oh, here it comes. He's going to turn to Bobby Lashley. You knew that wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. And I think if memory serves me right, Heyman had to fight for Rob Van Dam to even be in the match. No. And he gets the boot twice. It's and as for Sabu, look, I mean, Sabu no showing a match is nothing new. I think I've told the story about how he was supposed to wrestle on Rockland like 5 times, and all 5 times he never showed up.
Why would he? He's probably too drugged out.
All right, Chris, I don't know what more you could say, but say something. I don't know.
This match right here is the epitome of what a Hall of Fame caliber match is. This match is so good that it's just a beautiful match. And yeah, it's amazing. It goes right there at the bottom where that orange thing is, the color that you hate. It should go like right in that area. Actually, orange the color that you like, actually. Sorry. That right there, that one, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I will say one thing. I'm not defending the match in any way, but I will say if you just watch this match on its own without the pay-per-view. I think because, the thing is, we always watch this match with the pay-per-view. We already hate our lives. If you watch this match on its own, it's not that bad of a match. But once CM Punk gets eliminated, it just goes downhill. Like, it does not recover after CM Punk gets out. Everyone's pissed. And they're just booing, by the way. Like, it's just really bad. Also, too, like I said, the weapons really don't get used all that much. And yeah, it's just trash. This is going right in the trash category. So, you notice that time, by the way, I didn't even have to ask anyone if they all agreed. I think because we all do. So that's. And by the way, I do want to we didn't get another Elimination Chamber match at all in 2007, and I think that because I wonder if it's because this match was so bad that they just didn't want to do another one for a while. It's just not good.
I just think of that scene from SpongeBob where SpongeBob's in the snowman and he bashes through the snowman the kids already built, and they just looked like, maybe we didn't sing the song right.
Yep. All right, let's get a little bit positive now. We have the first one in 2008. This is the first time where they did 2 chamber matches in one night. They didn't do the chamber pay-per-view yet. This is at No Way Out 2008. This was for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, where the winner was going to face the champion on that show. It was between Big Daddy V, MVP, The Great Khali, Batista, Finlay, and The Undertaker. Not a great class of chamber participants in hindsight.
Not even close.
However, though, it's still pretty good, I think. This is the first time where 2 superstars started the chamber match and ended the chamber match because Taker and Batista start. And it's really kind of their match for a while. They kind of take it to each other. This is kind of rekindling and kind of like a little bit of an end to their feud that they had in 2007. And it made sense because it was pretty obvious that the champion was, obviously too, because then you find out some news later on about his challenger. But the champion was going to be Edge that they were going to face. And this is were the 2 people on SmackDown at the time that had an issue with Edge. So it made sense to have them start it and everything like that. It takes a while to get going. Pretty much they do a bit where Big Daddy V comes in and then he gets eliminated, and the Great Khali comes in and he gets eliminated after he's had like a strong start. Then it kind of breaks down into like a fun 4-way match with Finlay and MVP in there. Finlay looks good in the match. MVP looks good. This is probably MVP's like best one of his career. The most notable thing is he takes the choke slam. It's not choke slam, but he like Taker grabs him by the throat and does like the throw off the pod, which was cool. There's a notable botch in the match where Undertaker like falls out of the chamber because I think Big Daddy V threw him too hard. Well, it's not that he threw him too hard into it. The door didn't like close all the way, so that happened. And then it's good. The final spot too where Undertaker turns it into a tombstone with Batista's like slingshotting him in. I would put this like in the good category. The chamber's still good. They're still telling unique stories, but I feel like Big Daddy V and the Great Khali really dragged this match down. So that's where I would kind of put this. Chris, where would you kind of put this match?
I put it same thing. I put it in the good category. There's nothing spectacular like this. The heavy hitters with Dave and Taker, but like other than that, like Khali, Big Daddy V, did they really need to be in there? I feel like they were kind of useless. And then I guess like the Finlay MVP, like Batista and Taker, like Final Four is like good. Yeah. But yeah, it just seemed very like Khali and Big Daddy V seemed very out of place in this match.
I forgot, by the way, I mentioned this was a SmackDown branded match. I think we do a Raw and SmackDown one. I that is wrong. This was actually a jointed brand match. It was a SmackDown and ECW match because Big Daddy V, I forgot, was on ECW at the time. But this was when SmackDown and ECW had like the working partnership or whatever that was. But Steve, how do you feel about this match?
Truthfully, I wasn't super impressed with this match.
Okay.
Big Daddy V and Great Khali were just there. At least I get to listen to Big Daddy V's symphonic theme song. What an amazing entrance song!
They call cards and they call
Chrono Card. Oh my god, man! So if you listen to the lyrics, it's literally the police, calling for backup because Big Daddy V's too fat and he's stuck on the highway.
Rest in peace, Big Daddy V. We're speaking ill of the dead, but okay.
The world's largest love machine. Moving on, though. I mean,
World's largest love machine, Viagra?
Yeah. No, yeah. Batista being in there though was obviously a big help, but Taker winning the match was the right call. It leads to him versus Edge at Mania 24, which actually had a really decent build, not gonna lie, because Edge really was able to play into the whole like, I'm a scumbag, I have so many ways I can screw you out of this match and ruin your streak. I have a streak of my own. So there was like a little bit of you that believe like, yeah, he's right. He's a piece of shit. There are a lot of ways he can fucking end the streak.
Yep, and he almost does.
Yeah.
Not one of them worked.
Nope. But obviously the best part of the match is when the fireworks attack the fans.
Oh no.
But no, in terms of the Elimination Chamber, yeah, I'd say it's just average to me.
So John, you kind of have to side. Well, you have the tiebreaker vote here. With this match. So what do you want to say about it?
So I think the closing spot just pushes it right into the good category with Taker and with the reverse tombstone over the ropes. So this was actually the first pay-per-view I ever bought.
Oh, okay.
So some nostalgic value for me. I thought that spot was cool. I thought the right guy had won. But it is a slog getting through to that spot.
All right.
Because you got Big Daddy V, who, please put on a shirt. Whose idea was it to tell Nelson Frazier, hey, go out there just with a singlet.
Go there with a singlet.
And hey, that's the world's largest love machine you're talking about there.
I'm aware, but just put on a shirt, my man. Shout out to Ranjit Singh.
Boobs.
Yeah. Shout out to Ranjit Singh, who blew out his ACL in this match.
It wasn't even a match.
Yeah. Got kicked.
Probably the best part.
Kicked by the door, and he blew without his knee on the landing.
I did not know that.
That is hilarious.
And yeah, it was a great spot with David Taker at the end, and MVP doing basically a swanton bomb off the top of the pod. That must have sucked. What was his plan exactly? Noted high flyer MVP going to the top of the pod.
I think he was trying.
Notorious.
I think he was trying to escape the Undertaker. That's what it was. Like.
Yeah.
All right, but
yeah, but I think it just goes right.
Yeah, I agree. Then we have the next match. It's
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say I'm cool with it going in good, just let alone based off the fact Ranjit Singh blew his knee.
And it was and then we have a match that took place later in the show. It was at the same pay-per-view. This time it's for a shot at the WWE Championship, who we had known at this point was going to face Randy Orton because he had his match earlier. It was Chris Jericho versus JBL versus Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Hardy versus Triple H versus Umaga. Well, John, since it was your first pay-per-view that you bought, I'll let you kind of talk about this match a little bit.
So outside of JBL and Umaga, I think all the other competitors could conceivably have won this match, which definitely adds to the it definitely adds to who could win in the category, because Hardy already lost at the Rumble. Hunter lost the title to him at No Mercy, and Jericho got disqualified. Never actually got his rematch against him in Armageddon, and Shawn had lost at Survivor Series. So all four of these guys could conceivably win. I mean, Yeah, I mean, WWE Championship match with JBL and Randy Orton, I now sounds really thrilling. But we weren't going to get that either. So I thought it was pretty good. Some very good spots, and Jeff Hardy having a great House of Fire at the end, coming up just a bit short to build up to his story of becoming WWE champion by the end of the year. I still think it's just kind of good. There really isn't that big of a notable spot. I mean, Hunter wins, and eventually it becomes a triple threat match between him, Orton, and Cena.
Yeah. Um.
So I think it's kind of just in the good tier.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is also the first year. Something new that they did was they basically did all the eliminations, like one after the other, like all of it in quick succession. If you remember, like I think JBL gets out, then everyone kind of gets eliminated shortly after that and everything like that. So that was kind of a good thing. I always notice too when I watch these Elimination Chambers matches. I think this is kind of the first year where WWE kind of realized they can kind of test out who they could put in like a storyline with each other, because they would always have them mix it up and everything like that. And I'll talk about that when we do the others, because Shawn Michaels and Jericho start the match, and it's kind of ironic because they end up having like the best feud of the year in 2008. So I think that's kind of cool that happens. But I agree. I think this definitely goes into like the good category. I think too, a lot of people were thinking that Jeff Hardy was probably the better choice to win, but hindsight being 2020, I get it, built to a story, and then again, he would have had to be pulled from the match anyways because he got suspended, like right before WrestleMania 24, so he wasn't able to be in it. But I still think this is like a good chamber match though. Has some good spots in it, and again, I think why I would put because at the end we're gonna go through each tier and say which one's better and stuff like that. I think this is better than the SmackDown one because, like you said, John, only the SmackDown one only really had two people who could win that one. So this one having more chances of winners, I think, up to this match. So I agree. Chris, what about you? What do you have to say about this match?
I don't have any problems with it, so I can go wherever. I don't care.
All right.
I don't have.
Steve.
Same here, no real problems with it. I enjoyed it. Obviously, it leads to the Triple Threat Mania, which is mixed bag, I guess. But overall, I thought it was a decent match. Good list of competitors, all things considered.
All right, it's going right in the good category. And then we have moving on to WWE No Way Out 2009. This is the first Elimination Chamber match in the PG era. Because I know 2008 is when it went into the PG era. It wasn't quite there yet, so this is like the first full Elimination Chamber match in the PG era. It's for the WWE Championship. I'm sorry, I almost said the world title, but that's this is when the title moved to SmackDown for like a year. It was WWE Champion Edge versus Big Show versus Jeff Hardy versus Triple H versus The Undertaker versus Vladimir Kozlov. Yeah, Chris, let's let you kind of talk about this match a little bit.
Very odd. But yeah, again, like it's having Kozlov in there. This is probably like at his peak, I would say, of being like pushed, I would say. But yeah, I don't have any real recollection of this match at all.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, I'll kind of talk about this. This is the first time where someone was eliminated from an Elimination Chamber match within like the first 5 minutes, because you have that rule where every 5 minutes a pod opens. Well, someone was eliminated before then, and that was Edge, which kind of leads to what happens into the next chamber match we're going to talk about. And then it was the first time someone lost their title during the chamber match. Usually, the champion always lasts until the end. So this was the first time where there could be a new champion at any time. So it added some excitement to the match, and it makes what happens later even better. Good class of characters and wrestlers in here, minus Kozlov. But yeah, you have Triple H, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy was really good. You had a really good final two with Triple H and Taker, who both legitimately could have won it, and Triple H won it, and they had a really good final two in the chamber. Jeff Hardy does a really good spot in this match where he does a swanton off of one of the pods. The only real low light of the match is when Kozlov and Big Show kind of get in there and kind of work together against Jeff Hardy. It's kind of a little bit of a slog towards then. I guess it's meant to be, but it kind of goes on for a little too long until Triple H gets in there. Once Triple H gets in there, it's kind of better. I will put this in the great category. We're not going to get into the reason that it really goes into the great category, because the main reason for that is what happens in the next chamber match. I know you're going to say, how can another chamber match make this one better? Well, you're going to find out when we cover that match. But I will put that in the great category. But yeah, Steve, what do you want to? Anything you want to say about this match and where it goes and everything?
Not too much. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Like how earlier we talked about how that Edge cash in 2006 elevates that chamber match. I think how this chamber match connects to, the World Heavyweight Championship match later in the night elevates the both of them. Edge being eliminated within the first 5 minutes is absolutely wild, because going into that match, I feel like everyone was like, yeah, Edge is going to be in it for the long haul. Triple H will be in for the long haul. I thought this would be a match where it's just those two and everyone else comes in and leaves and it ends with those two. But no, Triple H goes on to win the match and just overall has a really good feel to it. I enjoyed this chamber.
There you go. John, anything you want to say about this chamber match?
I think this is an average chamber with one really good spot in the beginning, with Edge getting eliminated and his selling, especially him going up the ramp saying, no, 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 no. How can I blow this? No, 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 no. But the middle part with Vlad Kozlov, who is bad wrestler, he comes out with no reaction and does the headbutts. He dominates Jeff Hardy, and then the Big Show comes in, and they have a game of one-upmanship very, very slowly. And that middle 10 minutes, I think, really does bring the match down to an average, to like about an average ranking. Now, it was predictable that Triple H was going to win because they were building up Randy Orton versus the McMahons, and Triple H is married to the McMahon, so Randy won the Rumble. So I think the finisher, like the winner, was kind of predictable, and it had a bad middle 10. It has one phenomenal spot, but other than that, I think it's just kind of average.
So we'd have to make a decision here, because I put this in great, but I'm willing to go down to good. Steve, where would you put this match?
I'm good with either good or great. I guess I would go good for me.
Chris, you're gonna have to be the deciding factor. Is it good, great, average? Is it Hall of Fame? Is it trash?
I'll put it in the good.
Sorry, John's gotta go.
That's a good it is.
You're gonna have to go in the good category. All right, now Steve, because you meant. Oh, hold on, one spot. Because you talked about that thing that happens. Why don't you break? Well, let me say the match first, and then you'll break down the next match. It's at the same pay-per-view, No Way Out 2009. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's World Heavyweight Champion John Cena defending against Kane, Mike Knox, Chris Jericho, and what was supposed to be Kofi Kingston. But Steve, why don't you kind of talk about the thing that happens where it's not Kofi Kingston anymore in this match?
Yeah, so Kofi's on his way to the ring, and Edge, still pissed off at the fact that he not only lost earlier, but was straight up embarrassed earlier, comes out and he takes that frustration out on Kofi Kingston and nails a concerto on him using a steel chair to steel steps. And then Edge just tosses himself right in the match, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on? Kofi can't compete. So it's like, all right. Here it is. Edge is in the match now.
Yeah.
And the match goes on, and it's Jericho and Mysterio in first, and then Kane would come in, Knox would come in after that, and then Edge and then Cena coming in last this time. And Cena gets eliminated by Edge and Jericho teaming up. I think it was trying to remember it. Yeah, no, it was Edge hits. It was Jericho hit the code breaker, Mysterio hit a 619, and Edge hit a spear. So this was in that Super Cena era. So it didn't matter if you were the good guy or the bad guy. You knew you had to team up to get Cena out, and that's what they did. And then Edge goes on to win the match and win the World Heavyweight Championship out of nowhere. Out of we predict pay-per-views all the time, and we go into pay-per-views. We have some wild theories from time to time. I think if the Aftershock was around in this era, I don't think any one of us would have predicted that's how the night would have ended.
No, not at all.
And it was just a wild end to it.
Yeah, just an insane, thrill of a ride. Because what was even better about this, this is when there was the first iteration of the brand split, and they really stuck to it. Edge wasn't even on Raw at this time; he was on SmackDown, so that's what made this even more insane. And I like how this goes on. They really play up to it. And that look that Edge gets on his face when he realizes he's eliminated Cena, because we don't even know if he's part of the match at this point, because he's just in there and everything like that. And when he eliminates Cena, he realizes hey, I'm actually in the match. I actually got away with this. It's really good. You have a really good first two competitors in Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho. This is when I actually noticed, wow, Jericho really gets the short end of the stick when he's in the chamber matches. He always ends up starting the chamber matches, which is kind of shitty. I think this is when, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, I think he broke a record somehow where he lasted he was in the chamber matches the most time and all that type of stuff, because I think he had to have been, since he started every chamber match he was in, and I think he was in 3 of them at this point, maybe 4. And I could have done without the Kane Mike Knox stuff. It was kind of the same thing as the 08 SmackDown one, where they came in, dominated, and then were eliminated pretty quickly. But, I really like the Edge stuff. I like the Cena stuff, where he just gets eliminated really quickly and everything. And Ray and Edge was a really good final two. Ray took some really nasty bumps in this match, which I think is probably taking some time off his career. I think because of everything, and of the first match, I think I'm going to put this in the great category. But, we can talk about it as we go along. But, John, anything else you want to say about this match?
This is definitely the better of the 2 chamber matches. Edge is great. Edge is sell when he eliminates Cena, like Steve said earlier about did I just get away with this? I'm gonna get away with this. And he ends up winning the world title. Him and Ray were great in this. Jericho's great in it. Mike Knox is, who is he? Who's there? But yeah, no, I think this is probably arguably the most notable chamber spot of all time, when Edge comes out and just wipes out Kofi, and just gets in the pod and steals a spot. I'm yep, nope, I'm here now. Been here the whole time.
Yep. Chris, anything you want to say about this?
No, not really. That was a really good chamber.
We're gonna have to make a decision though. Where does this go? Because I put this in the great category. Where would you put this, Chris?
Yeah, we'll put it in the great category.
John,
great.
Where would you put this?
I put it in great.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I would put it in great as well.
So going in the great category, clean sweep. And then we have the first of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view as a concept, because this was at that time where WWE made all their match stipulations into pay-per-views, and it became a thing, and basically until Triple H took over. Well, I mean, they still have them, but that's not as bad as it was before. But this is when it was really bad.
No more hell.
Yeah. But yeah, this is
or TLC. Yes.
But yeah, this is from Elimination Chamber 2010, it's for the WWE Championship. It's WWE Champion Sheamus versus Randy Orton versus Ted DiBiase Jr. versus Kofi Kingston versus Triple H versus John Cena. Yeah, it's an alright chamber match. This one's really dumbed down and everything like that. A notable thing that happens is this is the first time where all the competitors were in it at once before an elimination happened. But I think it kind of affected the match because then I think they ran out of time, so they had to do all the eliminations quickly. But it's got some good stuff in the match. It's got the good bit where it's not during the match, but I think you got to talk about it, where Kofi's coming out for his entrance and he's really paranoid because of what happened in the last chamber match. So he's like looking behind him. I think that's a really good bit. I know it's not part of the match, but I think, I like to mention it. Sheamus looks good in this match. They do a good little story beat with Legacy, where Ted DiBiase Jr. has an opportunity to either eliminate Cena or Orton, and he picks Orton. Which started what was supposed to be the slow process, but then they just broke up the next night, so it really wasn't all that slow. And it was really dumb, but we'll talk about that another day. Just kind of, I think this is just kind of average. It's really not that special of a chamber match. It's kind of boring in places. I would probably just put this in the average category. And then, John Cena wins, which is just kind of whatever. And then they kind of do the thing afterwards with Batista, where essentially he does kind of the edge thing, except he doesn't have the money in the bank. But because he was aligned with Vince, they allowed this. It's clear they just wanted to do Cena versus Batista, so they wanted to make it for the title, so they needed to get the title off of Sheamus to put it on Cena. But I just think this match is kind of average. But that's just my opinion. Chris, what would you say about this little bit elimination chamber match here?
Average at best. Nothing really too special about it.
Steve, anything you want to say about this?
I like this match. We kind of talk about how Kofi's looking over his shoulder, and I mentioned before what happens after the chamber is just as important as what happens before. As we learned with the last one we reviewed, that bit's funny. And then Batista coming out and just kind of screwing Cena was cool, but in retrospect, it's like they really just shoehorned that one in there. They couldn't have found anything a little more creative. But at least we got Cena versus Batista at WrestleMania out of it.
All right. John, anything you want to say about this chamber match?
I think it's just bland. And it peaks with Kofi looking behind him to make sure Edge isn't coming to knock him out this year.
Or someone else.
Yeah, what they should have done is Kofi looks behind, like, all right, good, no one's coming out, and then Batista comes out and knocks him out and takes it.
That would have been hilarious, actually.
Yeah, and screws Cena out of the title. I would have preferred that. That would have been funny, but it's kind of a bland chamber. I don't think really any competitor in this is very interesting. I'm just saying, as a fan at the time, like, I didn't really care much for Sheamus or Legacy, and that's half your competitors. Yeah. Hunter was in the really bad DX at the time. And as for Cena was, this was in the peak of the Cena hate and the Cena nauseum. And I was a Batista guy first and foremost. I watched SmackDown first. So, and then post-match stuff with Vince, it's just kind of dumb. Like, if Batista just comes out and it's like, yeah, I'm going to cash in my Batista in the Bank contract and win my title. That's all. That's really all this is. I think it's just an average. It's not trash, but it's just like right above it, like right at the average.
So Steve and Chris, you gotta make. Where would you put this chamber match? We'll start with Steve. Would you put it in average, or do you think it goes somewhere else?
I would agree with what John said. It's make sure it goes at the very bottom of average. It ain't trash. Scratch that. The chamber in and of itself is kind of trash, but Batista getting the belt after, considering it leads to that WrestleMania match, puts it in average, but just barely.
All right, Chris. I mean, you're outvoted anyways, but you deserve a voice. So, what do you have to say about it?
Well, I am the voice of the voiceless. So, Average.
It's going right in that average.
You know, Punk calls himself the voice of the voiceless. I haven't seen him do sign language once. Just saying.
All right, Steve, you haven't talked about a chamber.
Figure it out. It takes time.
You haven't done a chamber breakdown in a while. Let me say the match, and then you can kind of break it down. It's from the same pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber 2010. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Undertaker defending the belt against CM Punk, R-Truth, John Morrison, Rey Mysterio, and Chris Jericho. Yeah, just talk about it.
It's a really good chamber. Again, like a lot of like really good competitors are in it, so you can't really go wrong with any of the competitors in this match winning it. All of them were really over. Yeah, I like the Shawn Michaels bit. We snuck into the chamber and hit the sweet music on the Dead Man, because again they had that WrestleMania, that epic WrestleMania match, and that kind of just adds to it. And yeah, I really liked it. I liked Jericho winning. I thought it made a lot of sense because he was still on that heel run. Yeah, I thought this was a very good chamber.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this chamber match. The first two with CM Punk and R-Truth is cool, and CM Punk eliminating him right away and then doing his sermon, like in the middle of the match, I thought was cool because it gave us something to do in between. John Morrison looks really good in this chamber match. He was really showcasing that he could be a main eventer. He lasts to like the final three and he gets an elimination, which is cool. They added to the Rey Mysterio CM Punk feud. Obviously, this match is notable for Undertaker suffering first-degree burns from his entrance, so like he was kind of struggling for a while. Yeah, you have a really good triple threat at the end with Undertaker, Jericho, and Morrison. And then at the end, like you said, with Shawn Michaels coming in, really made sense because obviously Undertaker kept denying him a WrestleMania rematch, and then Shawn Michaels basically realized that he basically had to piss off the Undertaker to finally get his rematch. So I really like this one. So I would probably, it's a very good one. But I would probably just put it in great since we don't have a very good category. But I definitely think it's better than the Raw one. But I would probably put this in the great category. But I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to put it in the good category. But yeah, John, what do you think about this chamber match right here?
I really enjoy the final spot. So the whole thing was that we needed to take the belt off Taker, get it on Jericho because Jericho and Edge were going to be feuding because Edge won the Rumble. And obviously we need to get Shawn Michaels and Taker. So having Shawn come up, hit Taker with a super kick and the look of, I did what I had to do to get what I want. And the fact that he basically gave his greatest rival from 2008 the World Heavyweight Championship is just icing on the cake. I think this is a great chamber just for that spot alone. CM Punk's really good with the sermon. John Morrison tries to look like a main eventer. Didn't really work out. But I think this is probably I'd probably put it in great. I could be talked into putting it into the top
Okay.
tier.
All right, Steve, what do you have to say about this? Steve?
Steve
You,
N.
Steve? Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. I like this match a lot. All the competitors really got to show off, even the Undertaker's fire. It was
Crispy Taker.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining match through and through, I thought, and it just really got better as it went along. And like John said, the ending spot is made all the more better when you consider the big picture and the little picture. The smaller picture is just the straightforward, this is Shawn Michaels doing what he has to do to get his match at WrestleMania against Undertaker. But the bigger picture is he just handed the belt to the guy he just had a feud of the year with. and a legit feud of the year. Like, I think the Observer noticed it
Yep.
as such. WWE noticed it as such. Him and Jericho. And yeah, I talk about like where does this chamber lead to? It leads to Jericho versus Edge. You know, at WrestleMania. Match itself was good. The ending was but it also leads to Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, which is just amazing.
Yeah. So, where would you put it, Steve? Great or good or Hall of Fame, and all that?
Hmm. I put it great. Not quite Hall of Fame for me, but great.
All right, Chris, you outvoted anyways, but you know you still gotta have a voice. So where would you put this match?
The trash great category.
We're going right in that great category.
See, you put it in trash. See?
Then we have the next match. It's well in the 2011 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view now. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's World Heavyweight Champion Edge versus Drew McIntyre versus Rey Mysterio versus Wade Barrett versus Kane versus a mystery opponent who we found out was the Big Show. Steve, you haven't talked about a chamber match in a while. Why don't you kind of talk about this match a little bit?
All right, yeah. I mean, this match was it was just kind of there, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up my notes right now so I can read about this one. So just bear with me.
I know you probably didn't.
Yeah, this is the Daniel Bryan one.
No, it's the 2011 one. This is the one where Edge.
Oh, 2011. I was looking at my 2012.
Yeah,
notes.
2011.
Yeah, I got 2011 Edge. Gotcha. Yes. All right. Here we go. Yep. So this one coming in first. I think we had. Did Edge start this one? He did. Yeah, Edge and Mysterio start this one. Then Wade Barrett comes in, and this is Barrett fresh off Nexus. Now he's running the Core, one of the greatest factions of all time.
He wasn't running the Core, by the way. They were all
great
equals.
shirt.
They were all equals. He wasn't running it. He said they were all equals.
Yeah, sure he wasn't running the Core. Sure he wasn't.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is Ezekiel Jackson was running the Core.
All equals.
Kane at number 4, McIntyre at 5, and then Big Show at 6. Big Show being that mystery entrant. And we have Barrett eliminating the Big Show, or Barrett was eliminated by Big Show. I mean, you know, they should have had Barrett. Barrett should have been pushed in the first place, but once again, story for another day. Kane gets eliminated then. And then, yeah, it comes down to Edge and Mysterio at the very end of it. And it looks like Mysterio's going to get the win, but Edge winds up capitalizing and hitting a spear midair to eliminate him. And then after the match, Del Rio, who had won the Royal Rumble that year, the 40-man in Boston, comes down and attacks Edge. But Christian comes back and makes the save, setting up for Christian to be in his corner because in Alberto Del Rio's corner at WrestleMania is one of the absolute greatest competitors of all time, Chris Dodd's favorite wrestler on God's green earth, Brodus Clay.
Funk is on a roll.
Yeah. Where would you put this, Steve? As like a tier list, if you had to put this somewhere.
That's what I'd probably put this one in average.
Yeah, I think this.
It was just there.
I think it's a good chamber, though. I think what really makes it is Drew's performance in the match, where he's just absolutely lighting it up and everything like that. I think he's really good. I think Edge and Ray were good. First, they really carried the match and everything like that. And they were really good in it. Wade Barrett was really good in the match. So I would probably put this in the good category. What about you, John? Where would you put the 2011 SmackDown Elimination Chamber?
Probably kind of an average kind of chamber. I mean, Edge spearing Mysterio is always good in midair, but where this ultimately leads to, and We'll talk about it probably in the next one, but you know, it doesn't really lead to much. Like you have the core versus Santino and Kane and Big Show. Was it Kozlov in
No,
that
no,
Yeah.
Kofi.
eight-man
It was
tag
Kofi
at
because
Mania?
they replaced Kofi with. Yeah, they replaced
Kofi.
Kozlov with Kofi. They took him out and stuff.
Oh, great. Drew, I don't think was even on the show at all. But I think it's just kind of an average. It happened. It was there. It was fine, but it was not. I don't think it was good. I think it was just kind of an average champ.
All right, Chris, you gotta make a decision here. You gotta either get to break the vote, or you might honestly think differently. You might put in one of these other tiers right here.
It's a very average chamber at best.
See,
That's very
I'm a
average.
man of the people. I put it in good, but I still let you guys put it. I let you guys have the vote. I put it in average for you.
You are not a man of the people.
Then we have the next match that took place later in the night, the same show, Elimination Chamber 2011. It was for a shot at the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 27. It's Randy Orton versus John Cena versus Ken Sheamus versus CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler. No, I'm sorry, not Dolph Ziggler. I'm looking at a different picture. Let me do that again. So it's Randy Orton versus CM Punk versus John Morrison versus John Cena versus Ken Sheamus versus R-Truth. Yeah, this chamber match, I don't know how to feel about this one. It has good moments, but it has like some really bad moments in the match. The good moments is John Morrison's performance. His parkour style is really good. Orton and Sheamus and Morrison are a good first two to start it off, and Sheamus looks good in the match. Orton looks good in the match. But there's some bad bits, and CM Punk's a really good hero in the match. They make him look really good, and he does some good stuff in the match. But there's some bad bits in the match. Like, what was R-Truth even doing there? He's just kind of there and doesn't really do much. He just felt like they needed another guy in the match, so they just kind of threw it to R-Truth.
He's just
Yeah.
R-Truthing.
And this is before like confused R-Truth. I mean, it's still good R-Truth, but not as great. They do a dumb bit in the match where like CM Punk's pod malfunctions, and then he gets eliminated, but then the anonymous Raw GM says no, he gets to go back in, which was just really stupid. And so then he lasts like the whole match or something, and then Cena really doesn't do much of this match. He kind of he's just there. And then yeah, it's very predictable too, and not in like a good way predictable. Like you're just kind of waiting for Cena to win, and then the last two of the match don't even really get a good final two. It's Cena just AA's Punk onto the chamber and wins. I think because they ran out of pay-per-view time. So like yeah, it's just kind of whatever. I would probably put this into like the average category, but if you wanted to talk me into putting in the good category, I could be talking to it, but there's just some bad bits in the match that just really make this match really stupid. Chris, let's start with you, so that way you can actually have like a vote. Because every time I've had your vote hasn't mattered. So let's actually have your vote matter this.
Because they don't matter.
But let's actually have your vote matter this time. Where would you put this 2011 Elimination Chamber match at?
So you said you can be talked into the good. Well, I'm not going to talk you into anything because it's average.
Steve, where would you put this 2011 Elimination Chamber match at?
I'd put this one in average. It leads to Cena versus The Miz at WrestleMania. I don't need to go into that detail.
Cena versus The Miz at WrestleMania or feature. No, it's The Rock featuring John Cena versus The Miz.
Yeah, it literally is. The Rock stealing someone's spot before we even fucking knew it.
It's true.
I will just say this as a side note. 2011, obviously CM Punk's in this match. This is the last him before he just exploded. And then there's R-Truth before he went on. Right now, he's on the best run of his career, in my opinion. What I think is the second best run of his career, which is psychotic heel R-Truth, where he's talking to little Jimmy and he's blaming everybody else for his problems.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You remember when he came out as a convert?
Yeah, I was gonna say the best. He comes out as a Confederate and secedes from the WWE, sword in hand and all.
Um,
But yeah, I put this in average.
yeah, John. I mean, your vote doesn't really matter here, but it's still a man of the people. So good to have a voice. Where would you put this chamber match?
So, so I said in the uh, the Taker, Shawn, and Jericho, where that's kind of predictable. The finish was like they had to get the belt off Taker onto Jericho to build their matches. This one has a problem where the winner is so predictable that it takes away from the rest of the match. Everyone knew Cena was winning, and it's just the rest of the competitors was like, do you really believe that Dolph Ziggler,
No,
John
I
Morrison, Goofy King Sheamus, and that stupid crown?
I messed up. Dolph
Right
isn't
over
in
him?
this
No.
match. I steered you the wrong direction. You
What?
said Dolph Ziggler. He wasn't in it.
Oh well, sorry. It's a. I'm sorry, but the
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
looking
I'm
at the
saying.
picture, and it
Yeah,
looks like Dolph Ziggler.
yeah, I
No,
thought
sorry,
so too.
sorry. R-Truth. Let me rephrase that. R-Truth gonna win the match? No. Punk hadn't won a match in over a year on pay per view, so I don't think they're not gonna do heel versus heel. And Randy, they already did that back at the Rumble, so Cena was the obvious winner going into this, and it kind of got to this match detriment. And the rest of the spots are not as good to really bump it up past the
All
average.
right. Across the board, it's all average. I will say too, this is the last chamber match before of the original brand split. Afterwards, the brand split would go away, so I want to make sure I mention that because the next one is the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. This is from Elimination Chamber pay per view 2012. It's Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus CM Punk, who was going in as champion, versus Chris Jericho, versus so yeah, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, R-Truth versus Kofi Kingston. There we go, we got there. Yeah, good chamber match here. I think this was when CM Punk was probably on like his really good WWE Championship run. CM Punk and Kofi is a good first two to have in the match. And it's a good chamber match. It doesn't have any spots that you remember right away, but the match itself isn't bad. It's worked really well. This is very notable because they were clearly setting up for Jericho versus Punk, and they kind of had to they kind of booked themselves a bit in the corner because they realized they were gonna have to have Jericho get eliminated in the match, but they didn't want to have him take any pins right now. So they did a bit where like CM Punk kicked him out of the chamber, and he took like a fall. You kind of watch it back; it's really not that bad of a fall. Like I think people have taken worse falls than that, and like been like fine. And it just makes his elimination look like really weird. You're kind of waiting for, you think Jericho's just gonna come back and like, show up and like hit Punk out of nowhere or something, but it just never happened. So it's just kind of weird. But the match has worked well. Everyone looks good in the match, so there's no issues with it. I'd probably put this in like the good category. I think like what really hurts this match is that weird Jericho thing that they do, and I know that's like one thing, but that's kind of like a big thing in the match that happens. So it's like it's kind of weird. But it's like good. Everyone looks good in the match for the most part. So yeah, I would put this in the good category. Steve, what about you? What do you think about this chamber match right here?
Yeah, put it in the good category. Obviously, this is building up toward Punk and Jericho's match at WrestleMania, which, I mean, this match just adds fuel to the fire of what I'm about to say. They had a weird build to their match.
I can see that.
They had a really weird build. Like, Jericho should have won the Rumble, and he didn't. And then you have this. It's like, well, yeah, I get that Punk has that long, continuous reign as champion, but all the same, would it have hurt if maybe he lost the title here and just got it back at Mania? Probably not.
I can see that.
Instead, they do that weird elimination spot with Jericho. So, yeah, it hurts the match, but not a whole lot. It's a good chamber.
Chris, so that way your vote can matter. Where you putting this chamber match? You putting it in good, great, Hall of Fame, average, or trash?
It's not average or trash. It's not Hall of Fame. I'll put it. It's like borderline good, great. So I'm gonna put it in the good. There's nothing really spectacular. Like you said, like getting Jericho out of there without actually getting pinned was a bit of a weird spot, but like it's a way to keep him from taking a pinfall. So I kind of get why they did that. But yeah, I put it good.
John, unfortunately, your vote doesn't matter, but it's still good for you to have a voice. So, where would you put this chamber match?
Good, I guess. I mean, it's basically CM Punk and Chris Jericho versus a bunch of mid cutters at the time. I really don't understand why this is for the title. Like, I think what they probably should have done was have this be a number one contendership and have Jericho win, because they didn't have win the Rumble, which is stupid. Probably have Jericho win and have Punk face off against, I don't know, somebody else. I would have to go back and I'm just thinking about this on the fly now. Like, I don't understand why this was a WWE title chamber match. But we knew Sheamus was going to go for the world title. So, probably just had this be a number one contendership and have Jericho have a win on pay-per-view to lead up to their match.
Yeah, so it's going right in the good category. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship match that takes place on the same show. It's Daniel Bryan defending the belt against Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, Big Show, Cody Rhodes, and Santino Marella. Chris, you haven't talked about a chamber in a little bit. You want to talk about this chamber match right here? Oh, I think no, wait. I screwed up, by the way. Randy Orton wasn't in this match. It was Khali, not Orton. It was because Santino took... Because Orton's on the picture, so that's why I thought it was Orton. Yeah, Khali was in this match, not Orton. So yeah, Chris, you want to talk about this match a little bit?
Guess if I have to. But yeah, I mean, this match, it was fun. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was good. But it wasn't really a standout chamber in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Bryan won it, and there's some key spots like the Big Show spearing Khali, in eliminating him. And then Bryan's pod got fucking destroyed.
Yeah,
and the crowd just cheered for everything Santino did. Like, Santino couldn't do anything wrong in this match. But yeah, then Bryan locked in the LaBelle lock and eliminated Santino for the win. I thought this was okay. I mean, it's not like really a special chamber. Like, you got the big thing with obviously the Big Show and Khali. But yeah, nothing really crazy happened in this match.
Where would you put it in the tier so I can ask you that now? So that way you can have first dibs on the votes.
Oh, I got first dibs this time. Look at that. Okay. I'll put it the average.
John, you want to talk about this match a little bit? Where would you put this match?
I don't really think this match is really that memorable outside of Santino almost winning and the crowd going nuts. I think it's just kind of average at best.
I agree with you. I think it's average. One weird.
Yeah, Steve, your pick doesn't fucking matter.
But, one weird thing too is I feel that this match would be a lot better if Bryan started the match, because that way I feel like we would have like a really good workhorse in the match. But he doesn't come in till the end. They do a weird bit too where like Big Show breaks into his pod and it takes him forever to set that up. I get it's like it built in tension, but it just takes forever to set that up. And then Khali just really didn't need to be in this match. It was just stupid. But the Santino bit.
I don't know why he's in any chamber.
This is the last chamber he's in, so it's okay. But
he's in a couple food jobs though.
Hey, there's no more after this year. Yeah. It's just kind of average. And again, like I said, Khali really didn't need to be there, so I'm putting it in average. I was just putting it in average, but Steve's got to still say something. Maybe he can talk us into taking it out of average. So we have to see.
I gotta say something. Something.
All right.
It's going in average. I want to give a big congratulations to Chris for finally having first dibs on a pick that matters. Here at Aftershock, not everybody hates Chris.
See, it finally changed.
As God rest his soul, the man himself, Owen Hart would say, it's time. There's need for a change in that time and now, something like that. What's the quote?
I don't remember it off the top of my head right now. Is it like enough and enough? It's time.
I kicked your leg out of your leg.
Isn't it like enough is enough? It's time for a change. I think that's what it is.
That's it. Yeah. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Chris Dodd getting first dibs. Is that
well,
change.
you got last dibs, and that hasn't happened yet. So you know. All right.
Yeah.
Then we have the 2013 Elimination Chamber match. It's from the 2013 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. It was for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. It was between Jack Swagger, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Kane, Mark Henry, and Chris Jericho. Yeah, I really like this chamber match a lot. I think it's great. Not really knowing who could win it. I think a lot. 4 out of the 6 guys could have won it. Made it really interesting. They do some really good stuff. They have Bryan and Jericho start the match, which is a really good first 2. We have Mark Henry's rampage that happens in this match, where he just goes on a tear and just starts eliminating people, and then when he gets eliminated, he just kicks everybody's ass still, and Booker and Teddy Long have to come in and try to get him out of there, and they succeed, but it's not a pretty sight. And we have a really good final 3 with Randy Orton, Jericho, and Swagger. The only thing I don't like about it is who won it. I feel like the one person won. I understand it because he just started his new character and he just came back. So they kind of had to validate that, but it just wasn't good. And then the character ended up kind of sucking with his We the People character. I think this is where they probably should have had Ziggler find a way to cash in his briefcase at some point, and that way Jericho could have won the chamber here, but it didn't happen. I would still put this in the great category. It would have been Hall of Fame had we had the right winner, but I think it goes in the great category. I think it's a great chamber match, and I really like it a lot. Okay, Chris, let's have your pick matter this time. Where's this going?
Oh. Yeah, I mean it's the wrong person won, which kind of brings it down for me. I originally had it in the average category because Jack Swagger winning, but I can be talked into good.
Let's see if people can talk you into it. Steve, we'll have your vote matter this time. It might still matter. John's might still matter at the end, but Steve, where's this going for you?
Yeah, the wrong person won for the right reasons. Sure. I like this chamber. Kind of battling back and forth between good and average. And I'm more inclined to go with average because I'm thinking outside of the chamber what was going on, and it led to Del Rio versus Swagger at WrestleMania, and that match just sucked. It was he didn't even get a real friggin' entrance.
Well,
at least Ziggler cashed in, but that kind of feels too removed from this match. Yeah. So I'm gonna go average.
All right, John, this is interesting. 3 different people picked 3 different things. So either you gotta pick, I don't know what's gonna happen if he picks something different. Let's see what happens. What tier is this going? What tier is this going?
Put it in the Hall of Fame. Be difficult.
I cannot justify giving We the People Jack Swagger a Hall of Fame vote. Oh God.
We the People, baby.
That was 2 weeks after this?
No, busted. It was 2 days. 2 days.
Oh yeah, that's
We the People. What did you say, pal? Nothing.
Oh God. God damn it. So, I enjoyed the Mark Henry bit. I enjoyed Team Hell No's kind of dissension. But the massive negative is that it's Jack Swagger. How has anyone ever got excited to see Jack Swagger wrestle a world title match? Nope. I think he has the distinction of being the worst Money in the Bank winner and the worst Elimination Chamber winner in one person is Jack Swagger.
Vincent Flagel.
Yep.
Yeah,
I believe like that negative knocks it down a few rungs, so that puts it in the average tier.
Yeah, but I'm a man of the people, you know. Stephen John have spoken. Stephen John has spoken. Then we have from Elimination Chamber 2014.
Well, wait, if you're a man of the people, then why aren't you putting your hand over your heart and saying what the winner of that Elimination Chamber would have said? And that is, we,
Jericho shut
the people.
Jericho shut that down when we went to AEW Live. He wouldn't let us do it, so I can't do it anymore. Okay.
Yeah, because remember, kids, making fun of WWE is cool. KEWL, because that's how we at AEW spell it.
Hello, fellow kids.
Tony every week is literally Steve's getting that fucking baseball hat.
Anyhow, moving on to the next chamber match, we have from Elimination Chamber 2014. This is the last Elimination Chamber before the network. This was actually the last pay-per-view before the network. It's for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I forgot to mention, by the way, too, this is like the first time there has been only one championship where the chamber's been defended. That's kind of cool. It's for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton versus Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan versus John Cena versus Cesaro versus Christian. Steve, you haven't talked about a chamber match in a while. Do you want to talk about this one?
No, but it will.
I mean, you don't have to. I can throw it to somebody else.
No. I'm gonna say we have Kat Steiner with me.
Oh, I don't have Discord open, so you know, I didn't even know. You guys could be. I don't know what you guys could be doing on camera. By the way, I can't even see it right now. So you guys have free reign to do what you want, pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, this Elimination Chamber is during Randy Orton's reign of terror. So this one starts out with Sheamus and Cesaro. Interesting. I started out knowing they're going to go on to become the Bar. And then Daniel Bryan comes out first, and then Christian after that. Next after that, Cena, and then after that we get Orton coming out. And then I think after that, Orton gets put into a corner. They're all beating down on him. He locks himself in his pod, but Sheamus brogue kicks the pod open and just starts beating the shit out of Randy again. But then Christian nails a frog splash from the top of a pod onto Sheamus to eliminate him. Bryan hits a running knee onto Christian to eliminate him. It wasn't the knee plus at this time. It was just, as Michael Cole would say, the knee.
Yep.
Cesaro gets eliminated by Cena after tapping out to the STFU. Yes, it was the STF at this time, but I can only play along with what a move was called at times so much. The STFU just sounds so much better for him. Exactly. And then
Yes,
the Wyatt family shows up after the lights go out.
The Watts, baby, they're back.
Yes. The Watts, the legendary electricians, you know, God rest two of their souls. And then Eric Rowan, wherever the hell he is, you know, hope he's doing good. I'm not going to get too sidetracked with making fun of Eric Rowan. Yeah, so the Wyatt family interferes. They attack Cena. And this ultimately leads to Orton pinning Cena. And then Ryan climbs to the top rope. He jumps Kane, who came to assist with removing the Wyatt family. Orton takes advantage and he tries to eliminate him. And then Bryan hits the running knee. Kane pulls the referee out of the match. Bryan starts attacking Kane, but Orton takes advantage of it to hit the RKO on Bryan. However, he kicks out. However, Kane winds up hitting Daniel Bryan before another RKO, and that lets Orton win the match. And this is ultimately going to lead to the match we weren't supposed to get at WrestleMania, but we did get, which is Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan. I want to say at this point in time, they probably knew that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I was going to talk about that, but I'm not sure, like, if they knew it exactly at this point, but we can talk about that another day.
They didn't know at the
No, they
Rumble.
didn't.
They definitely thought they were doing the right thing, and then, quick to realize, this might not have been such a good idea.
Especially because they lost one of the key players, too.
They're
Considering
wrestling
the
shapes.
considering the whole wrestling yes movement started, I think, the night after, where they WWE really started pushing it themselves. I would say they probably knew what they were going to do. So Bryan losing here isn't a tone-deaf decision, I'd say. It was probably storylined at this point.
Yeah. Where would you put this? Because you had the first dibs on the vote.
I would put this in the good category. It was a good chamber. I enjoyed it. It had me on the edge of my seat. A lot of what gets set up for WrestleMania is well done in here. Overall, I'm going to go with the good.
Yeah, I really like this chamber match. I think they really did a good job. This is another time where they had everybody come into the match at once before an elimination. And what I really liked about it was, I thought they formatted it very well this time. They paced out the eliminations better. I just really liked it. Really great elimination chamber match. Very back and forth. Sorry, John has to get going, so he was just letting me know. Okay. He's got to get going after a certain chamber match, so we got to make sure we get to that before he has to leave. Let me get back on track. But yeah, I really liked this chamber match. I thought they all the stories made sense. Cesaro looked great in this match. The only weird bit was like they tried doing something with the paw because it broke off, and I don't really think it really worked out like they thought it was gonna work out. So that probably knocks it down for me to like the great category, but it's still a great chamber match, I think. Chris, where would you put this chamber match?
Yeah, I put it in the great category.
John, where would you put this chamber match? It's either good, great, Hall of Fame, average, trash.
I guess great, because I don't know when this was the plan the whole time. I guess we're gonna put Bryan in the main event. Trust us, it was the plan.
So there you go. Then we have the first tag team elimination chamber match. It was something different. It was for the WWE tag team titles. It was from Elimination Chamber 2015. It was between WWE tag team champions, The New Day, represented by Big E and Kofi Kingston, versus the Lucha Dragons, versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, versus the Ascension, versus the Primetime Players, versus Los Matadores. Chris, I'll let you talk about this because I'm going to let John talk about the next one since he has to leave after that one. You want to talk about this chamber match a little bit?
Ooh, I see which one it is. This match was great. If I had my 2 cents in it, and my only vote would matter because my only vote does matter. It's great. This is going to the great category for me. This match was fantastic. It was, like you said, it was the first tag team elimination chamber match. Every one of these teams fed off each other extremely well. And it's just fantastic. I love the New Day winning. Made the most sense out of all the teams that the New Day would win. But yeah, this match was fantastic.
I'll go last, so that way my vote doesn't matter. Steve.
Yeah, fuck yeah, because you never go last.
Steve, what do you think of this chamber match and everything?
Oh, Owen going last. The Birdman's clipped his wings. How about it?
How about it?
I'm a little different on this one. I'm gonna put it in the good category. I like that they tried something new with the tag teams. The fact that the New Day was just because they were all in there, right? This is the one they were all in there, correct? Yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, there's only two of us. Bullshit! Like, I get they're the bad guys, but like, if there's one match where like the villain gets their comeuppance, this is it. And WWE was just kind of like, like I don't know. I didn't like that at all, and that's what kind of sticks it down to good for me. It's like it just didn't make sense why you wouldn't lock Xavier out of the chamber.
Yeah, I mean they tried to make sense out of it.
Yeah, you could have done something. Yeah, he could have done something where, like, he's playing the trombone and he shoots like a kendo stick out of the trombone and it goes through the chamber and they cheat using that. That would have been fine, but just the fact that all three of them are in there.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about the thing they did try to make sense out of it when they mentioned, that because the Authority were around at this time, that like the New Day and the Authority worked out some sort of deal because like the New Day helped them on SmackDown or something, but it's still just kind of stupid. It's just weird. So I guess whatever. But yeah, it's just like okay, that happened. John, where would you put this Elimination Chamber match?
I think it's kind of just good. I think there's a bit too many people in this, a bit too many bodies in this match. It's kind of just good. I don't remember much from it. I remember the New Day winning, which was the right move, but it's good. It's better than the other match on this show, but it's kind of what
my vote matters, by the way, because I have a deciding vote, which is just kind of I didn't even plan on that, but it happened. I think it's good. I think one thing that really ruins this match is again just too many bodies. They have El Torito just standing on top of the pod. He doesn't do anything until like Los Matadores coming to the match. He was just up there. So I don't know what he was doing.
Poor guy.
And then I feel like this match was a bit too like choreographed because it takes a while for it to set stuff up. Like Kalisto, when he had to do all his dives, he had to get into position. And I know that's kind of how wrestling works, but I feel like this one was kind of worse off for it. Again, too many bodies. And there's a big moment where like the Ascension get like 2 eliminations in a row, and it like kills the crowd randomly. So it's just like, yeah, I gotta put this in like the good category. I think it gets better like once.
Good for them. Good for them.
And then I'll just talk about the next thing though. If we have Elimination Chamber from the same pay-per-view, it's the vacant Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. It's R-Truth versus Sheamus versus Ryback versus Ken Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler versus Mark Henry. John, you have to go after this, so I'm gonna let you talk about this match because you said you wanted to talk about this.
Mark, stay there. Just stay there, Mark. Don't come out of your pod, even though you can clearly come out of it.
That was awful.
Oh. So yeah, this is probably I didn't think the Extreme Elimination Chamber would have competition. There's a strong competition between these two of what's the worst Elimination Chamber of all time.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean it's fine in the beginning, and then once the pod breaks, the bulletproof plexi pod, if you want to believe them, and Mark's is standing there like, I have no idea what to do.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And it completely falls apart. Ziggler's calling spots very loudly. Everyone can hear him. Ryback wins, which... Okay, I guess. The IC title is like... He didn't really care about it anymore at this point. This is where it really started to feel like a background kind of piece. But... It's bad. It's not good. It's just... Mark! Just don't move! Fuck, we gotta figure this out. What? Okay, come out and beat us up.
You forget it too. Mark doesn't know what to do. He's breaking up pinfalls in an elimination match. Like, yeah.
It's not like he's like in a team with somebody where like like it's like Batista and Triple H in 05, where like Batista's there to protect Triple H. That's why he's breaking up the submissions. No, Mark's on his own.
Also a bad bit about this match. Sheamus like gets stuck in his pod, but we find out that like he rigged the pod where like he put like his necklace in there. But of course he's a dumb heel, so he doesn't wait till like it's like the last guy in the match, like when they won out. He waits till like everybody's down, and then like his plan fails. It's just really bad. Yeah, it's just trash. It's just terrible. Steve, do you want to say anything else about this match?
You want to do me a favor and just say, "Hey, Steve, say something."
Hey, Steve, say something.
Something. Move on.
Where's it go though? Because you have.
No, I'll give you a little. I'll give you a little more. This match is just everything that could go wrong in a elimination chamber went wrong. This match is almost so bad that I want to put it in average because it's so bad that it's
Okay.
funny. But I can't bring myself to do that. Or maybe I can. I know I have an idea where the other 3 votes are going to lie. So you know what? Maybe I will give my pity vote to the average cat. No. Fuck it.
Oh no!
I'll vote average.
Chris, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
Oof, boy, this is really tough. It's either Hall of Fame, great, good, average, or trash. Considering the fact that it's none of the top 4, it's one of the trash.
I thought we were gonna have to flip a coin. I feel like John would not have let me put this in the average category either. He would have if he had.
No, if one of you guys said average, I was gonna jump through that screen, knock you out, and then change my vote to trash.
All right, well, unfortunately, John has to get going. We can still do this. But yeah, John, anything you want to say before we get off and everything like that?
No.
All right. He's got nothing.
I got nothing.
I appreciate you being on. I think good. I'm glad you were at least able to be on for the IC title breakdown because I know you wanted to be on for that. So
I at least had to get on for that because that's the last real chamber that I can remember vividly. With everything going wrong.
Yeah. So yeah. Hope we can see you again on that Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar schedule. All right.
Yeah. Well, not much for Brock anymore, but more than Roman.
Wait, Roman Reigns and who?
Right. That's right. But he doesn't.
Who?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Bork?
But yeah, thanks for coming on, and glad you were able to talk about the IC title one at least. I don't think he is, but
Yeah, I'll see you.
But anyhow, let's continue our breakdown of the Elimination Chamber matches. I think this match also was so bad that they didn't do another one for like another year. It's in 2017. It's the first introduction of the new Elimination Chamber. They made a new one. That's probably also why they didn't do one in 2016 because they were making a new one. Maybe so that way. If you notice, by the way, I think they didn't want to have an issue where someone's pod broke again because that doesn't really happen much anymore. But yeah.
It doesn't happen again.
At least by accident, anyways. But it's from the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view 2017. The brand splits in its second iteration. It's for the WWE World Championship. I have to make sure I get the name of the title right. It's WWE World Champion John Cena versus Dean Ambrose versus The Miz versus AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin versus Bray Wyatt. I really like this chamber match. At the time, I don't think any of us really did like this chamber match because we just could not get... we could not really take it seriously because of the new chamber. Because this is when JBL kept saying on commentary, "Oh, Umaga walked on steel on that." And it wasn't steel anymore, by the way. It was like plastic mats. We kept calling this like
they're walking on padding.
We called this like
their feet must really hurt.
We called this
on
like the
padding.
Funhouse match and everything like that. Like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
This match is just
Yeah.
a mess.
But then I've watched it back since then, and I actually really like this chamber match.
We both watched it back like
Yeah.
last year, last
Um,
fall, for reasons.
But yeah, I really
But
like
yeah.
this chamber match. It starts off very well with AJ Styles and John Cena starting it off, and then they got to go back and do the No Mercy triple threat match from 2016 with Ambrose being involved, and then Corbin's in there, and then Bray Wyatt goes in there. They do a really good elimination where Ambrose eliminates Corbin with a roll up, and then Corbin ruins him, and then the Miz eliminates him. And then they do a really good elimination with the Miz, which sets up the mixed tag because Cena's the one that eliminates him, and then it's down to like a really good triple threat with Cena, Styles, and Wyatt. Wyatt eliminates Cena out of nowhere, and it's down to Styles versus Wyatt. Styles, who had been in since number 1, and Wyatt since number 3, and then Wyatt beats Styles, and this ends up being a hell of a chamber match, I think. You know, Bray Wyatt got to get a WWE World Title run out of it. I mean, we could say it now, but unfortunately, it wasn't a good World Title reign. I think he has like a triple threat with Cena and Styles on SmackDown, and then that's like the end of his good run as champion. He'd go downhill from there. But I really like this chamber match. I think the right person ended up winning in the end, since of who the Royal Rumble winner was and everything like that. So I would probably put this in like Hall of Fame. I really like this chamber match here. So Steve, where would you put this chamber match, the 2017 Elimination Chamber match?
I really enjoyed this chamber match. The chamber redesign sucks. It really does. But
allows them to do more stuff now, though.
It does, but
that's how I put the positive on it. Like, it must, like, I like the old one, but yeah, it allows them to do like more stuff off the. You can throw some off the top of the pod now, not kill them.
It was a fun match. I'm kidding. No, I do get what you're saying though. That it does allow you to do more, like that guy who threw Austin Theory off of a cell. Or
that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Daniel Puder. That's who did it. That's going to be the thing. Whenever we talk about Brock Lesnar, we're going to have to refer to him as Daniel Puder.
That's fine.
Now.
I'm cool with that. Until he comes back, anyways.
Yep. Yes. Daniel Puder's the brother of the wrestling thug Brad Maddox.
You will not let that die.
I will not let that die. Anyhow, I really did. I was going to say, I really did enjoy this chamber match, though. It was a really well-paced match. I think all the matches that it led to at WrestleMania were good, with the exception of bits and pieces of the Orton Wyatt match at Mania. But all around, it was good fun. I will put this one in the... I'm bouncing back and forth between Hall of Fame and Great. I'm going to let Chris make his decision, then I may have to make a definitive
we only have 3
choice.
people now, so Chris, what's your decision? Is a Hall of Fame great, good, average, or trash?
For obvious reasons, personally, I can't put this in. I cannot, in the right state of mind, put this anything lower than Hall of Fame. Just because of the type of person that Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda was, it's going in the Hall. It can't go anything lower than that.
I can respect that. I can go with the Hall of Fame in that case, actually, when you put it like that.
Then we have, from 2018, the first of 2 chamber matches. This is the first ever women's elimination chamber match. It's for the Raw Women's Championship. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Mandy Rhodes versus Mickie James versus Sonya Deville versus Sasha Banks. I like this chamber match. It's a good chamber match. it's kind of a tornado tag in the beginning. It's kind. You would probably think originally it's like one of those elimination chamber matches you play in the video game because they have Sonya come in and they work together, and they have Bailey come in and they work together. So you would kind of think it's like one of those. And then Mickie James comes in and she doesn't really do anything that significant. She's just kind of there. And then Alexa Bliss comes in and they do a bit where because everyone else has been eliminated. Sasha and Bailey work together to take out Alexa. And then John alluded to this earlier. They did a cool thing where like Sasha turned on Bailey. She kicked her off the pod and she fell. But unfortunately, this made Sasha look stupid because she didn't do it until before Alexa was eliminated. So it allowed Alexa to basically get the one up on him, and Alexa eliminated both of them and just won. I like this chamber match though. It's got some good moments in it. It's got that really good speech at the end where Alexa Bliss does like the fake babyface speech, and it was like the first time she did it, so it was like really significant then until she like they overdid that.
Fucking 25 times.
But this one was really good. I would probably put this in like the good category. The thing that really ruins this match is the Sasha Banks bit, just because it makes it really stupid. Because kind of makes the result stupid. So I'd probably put this in like the good category. Chris, where would you put the first ever women's elimination chamber match in?
I could put it. It's in the good category for me too. Like they the Bailey, the Sasha turning on Bailey thing was kind of stupid. But yeah, I think it's still good regardless.
All right, Steve, where are you gonna put this?
I want to put this in the great category, but as we've already stated, with that turn happening the way it did, I can't. Didn't make sense, so I'm gonna go good.
Going good. Oh, I almost put it in the great category by accident. Oh, I did.
Ooh, you did it again. Get it out of the great.
Then we have the other elimination chamber match. It's the men's chamber match. It's the first ever and only 7-person elimination chamber match. It's John Cena, Elias, Roman Reigns, The Miz, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins. Okay, hold on. I lost count. So it's Elias, John Cena, Roman Reigns, The Miz, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman. I think that's everybody. It was the 4th shot to face Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. A good chamber match here. It kind of has the same problem as the 2003 Elimination Chamber match, pretty much, where, Braun Strowman eliminates everybody, and then he just gets eliminated at the end by Roman Reigns. And this was at a time where Vince was really hard set on Roman Reigns. He wanted to push him. And he was kind of back on that train again, and people clearly wanted Braun Strowman to win this match and go face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He was over at this time, and this would have been huge for him. And, this was like really the last opportunity they really had to put the title on him when he was like red hot and everything like that, and they just never did it. And they should have called an audible and just had Braun win. Because it's really stupid. He eliminates everybody in the match and then just gets eliminated himself. I will give a caveat, however. This one's less bad because at least Braun took more damage than Goldberg did in his chamber match. Braun, I think, had like been double teamed and stuff like a bunch of times and everything like that. And this is a better match. It was the first time they did the 7-man chamber, so they had basically the first 3 guys like started the match, and then it was a normal chamber match pretty much. But everybody looked good in this match. This was when Seth Rollins was really a workhorse in 2018. This was probably like his best wrestling year that he ever had, other than maybe 2023. And then this was when Cena was trying to find a path to get to WrestleMania. Elias was played a good role in this match. However, the one winner really ruins this match. I have to put this in the good category. I think this is where it goes. Steve, where would you put the 7-man elimination chamber match in?
Well, I can put it in the good category.
I might quit.
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed that they did 7, but yeah, in retrospect, I've always been a Roman Reigns fan, but they really should have just pulled the trigger on Braun Strowman here. Found something else for Roman.
Yeah. I don't know what they could have found for Roman. I think it was easier for them to find something for Roman than Braun, because if you remember Braun, what Braun does at Mania, isn't all that great. But I think Roman
Was it? They for the record, they should have had Braun Strowman win those tag titles in a handicap match, and it should have been like an absolute all-out brawl where he barely wins.
But yeah, Chris, where would you put this chamber match in?
It's good. Yeah, like it's no better than good. They could have, but like this is the peak moment for Braun. He looked like a dominant force, but yeah, he got Roman Reigns again. So, and he keeps continuing to get Roman Reigns for a while.
Very much so.
But yeah, that's. But yeah, it's good. It's not bad. It's good.
Then we have going into 2019 now. We have another women's chamber match. The first tag women's chamber match to crown the vacant first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. At least that's what WWE likes to tell you. And then it's the Boston Hug Connection, the Wyatt Squad being represented by Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, Fire and Desire, Naomi and Carmella. Who else is in this? Yeah, so it's Boston Hug Connect, the Iconics.
It's Nia Jax and Tamina.
Yeah, why don't you talk about this, Chris?
I thought for a first time women's tag chamber for the tag titles, I thought this is good. The match doesn't suck in any way, shape, or form. It's good. It's nothing spectacular, nothing special. And of course, Bayley and Sasha winning makes it better because they were kind of the only team that really made sense to win there. But yeah, I thought the match was good and the right team won.
So, is it going in the good category?
Yeah, it's going in the good category.
Steve, you're gonna get the next vote right here, so you can vote next. Lost Steve.
Steven?
I think.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I was saying, yeah, I think Sasha and Bayley were a good option. Ultimately, I think the Iconics were the best option to win, and eventually they would rectify that at WrestleMania.
Sort of.
But, yeah. Yeah, I'll put it in the good category.
I agree. I like this. I will say I think WWE got the concept better of doing a tag chamber. I think this was a better showing of a tag chamber than the first one was. It's the best the women's tag team division has ever been booked, which is not saying much because it's the first night of the tag division. I still remember a commentary too, like Beth Phoenix is trying to say facts about the old tag division, and like Michael Cole has to like shut that down because WWE wanted it to be like the.
No. It didn't exist. It exists.
So I'll put this in like the good category. And Steve, you get to talk about the next one. We have the same pay-per-view, for the WWE Championship. It's the new Daniel Bryan defended against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, and Kofi Kingston. You want to talk about this one? Well, maybe he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. I don't think he's talking about it. Oh, he's going to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll talk about this one, I suppose. So, yeah, first we had the new Daniel Bryan and Senior Joe. They started the match. We had Kofi Kingston entering third. Fourth was AJ Styles, who comes out and eliminates Samoa Joe with the phenomenal forearm. Hardy comes in fifth, but gets eliminated with the running knee. And last was Orton. Styles attempts a phenomenal forearm on Kofi Kingston, but Orton hits him with an RKO to eliminate him. After that, Kingston nails Trouble in Paradise on Orton to eliminate him. leaving Kingston and Bryan as the final two. And this is where, ironically, with Daniel Bryan, of all people, being in the situation, everything changes. Suddenly, Kofi being in that spot makes people kind of realize, in the build up to it, too, people start realizing it. But here's where people really started to see it, Kofi Mania. Him being in that spot, he could actually run with the top dog in the company. And Kingston and Bryan go at it. Kingston has several near win attempts, but ultimately Bryan's able to pull off the victory. And, we think that's the end of it. That's it. But I'll let you guys talk a little bit about it. Kofi Mania would go on to become a real thing. Would. And I'm gonna stick this Elimination Chamber in the Hall of Fame category.
And I agree with you. This is a hell of a chamber match. Not just for the Kofi Mania moment, but there's also other great stuff in it, like Bryan and Joe was a great first choice to start the chamber match. You have the great RKO moment where AJ catches Styles gets caught in the phenomenal 4-1 position. Jeff Hardy is a really good swanton. It's a fantastic chamber match. I'm putting it in the Hall of Fame. But Chris, maybe you can talk us into it. Are you putting this in the Hall of Fame? You got to put this in the great, good, average, trash. Where's it going?
I could put it in trash, average, good, great, or Hall of Fame because that's what we're doing. I could possibly do all that all at the same time, but it's Hall of Fame. So it's just that the lead up to it, Kofi Mania, the new Daniel Bryan, or the nude Daniel Bryan, I was calling him at that time. Was that gimmick was great. The Planet's Champion. But yeah, that was awesome. It's going in the Hoff.
I mean, we didn't even talk about Kofi was never even meant to be in this chamber match. All this happened because Mustafa Ali got a concussion, and then Kofi caught lightning in a bottle, pretty much, which was just absolutely awesome.
Exactly. That was supposed to be Ali's big push, and then they were like, "Nope."
And then he got his big push of Retribution, sort of.
Yeah.
You got his big push. Hey, you're the leader of this crappy faction that no one cared about from the beginning.
That might be a
Yeah, here you go, Mustafa. You're now they basically said, "Okay, Mustafa, we feel bad about what happened. So to make it up to you, you're now the leader of Antifa. Have fun."
It'll be a shittier version.
All right, then we have the next one. We have it's from Elimination Chamber 2020, the last pay-per-view before the pandemic. I think the pandemic fully the lockdown and everything fully break that week, right after this pay-per-view, pretty much. I think it did. I think that's how it went.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's Elimination Chamber 2020. It's for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Because we have to be clear about that type of stuff, Chris. It's the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I'm sure
about that
because I was on SmackDown. But
it was the only title on.
Don't you remember when they did the draft last year? They put the Raw Women's title on SmackDown and the SmackDown Women's title on Raw. So then we had to be clear. So it was weird.
Because it was the SmackDown Women's Champion on Raw.
But anyhow, it's another tag chamber. It's SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Miz and John Morrison, versus the Usos, versus the New Day, represented by Kofi Kingston and Big E, versus Lucha House Party, being represented by Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado, versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, versus Heavy Machinery. I personally think this is a great chamber match. It moves very fast paced. This is probably the best of the tag chamber matches. And I just think it's really good. It has really good sections in it. You get to see the New Day and the Usos rekindle their feud. Lucha House Party look really good in this match. They do a really good bit with Heavy Machinery and Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, because this was when they were doing that feud between Otis and Dolph Ziggler, which was really good. And they do that spot where Otis goes through the pod, which was meant to happen this time. And then, yeah, it comes down to a really good triple threat where Miz and Morrison basically cheat to get the victory. And, well, it was supposed to set up to the triple threat tag title match at WrestleMania, but then it kind of happened, but it didn't happen the way they wanted it to happen. But, yeah, I would probably put this in, like, the great category. I really like this Elimination Chamber match. And I like the story beats that it tells, and I think, the winners make sense. So, Chris, where would you put the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match in?
And the Smackers, I will put it in the great category because it was a really great match.
Steve, where would you put this Chamber match?
I would do the same. I'm going to put it in the great category. I thought this match was really well done, really well paced. It's a shame that it's the last. It's a shame that it's remembered as the last match before the world went to shit. But
shameful thing.
Yeah,
Lobster head.
Careless man who could.
You say that, bread. Steve, but no, it's not the last chamber. There's one more chamber match on this because you forget they always do 2 chamber matches. They had another one. It was on the same show, and the winner was going to face Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. It was Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler versus Asuka versus Ruby Riott versus Natalya versus somebody else. Is that 6? I think I'm missing somebody.
It doesn't say. I forget.
Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Natalya. We're missing somebody. Asuka. Maybe we got everybody. I don't know. Yeah.
Huh? Run here. I don't know.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Who gives a fuck
I'm looking it up. You get me a minute. These things take time. Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Okay, W Championship. Blah, blah, okay. So it's Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Natalya, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. I think it's Sarah Logan. Yeah, Sarah Logan. I forgot about. Chris, why don't you talk about this chamber match? You haven't talked about one in a while.
It's okay, I guess. There's nothing really special about it. Shayna wins. I put it in average.
Yeah, there's one glaring thing that really ruins this match. Because they actually had a good idea in practice. But in theory it just didn't work. No, in theory it didn't work, but then in practice it didn't work. What they wanted to have Shayna have a dominant run, so that seems like a good idea, have her eliminate like everybody in the match. Problem with that was they screwed up her entry order. This is where sometimes that matters. Because, if she had come out 5th, I think, the biggest issue of the match is gone. But because she came out 4th, she eliminated Sarah Logan right away. She eliminated Natalya right away. And then she eliminated Ruby Riott right away. So then 2 more people still had to come in. So she was just kind of stuck waiting around. And then Liv Morgan came in. She immediately dispatched to her. And then she was stuck waiting around for a little bit. And then Asuka comes in. And I think Asuka had some type of injury going into this match. So, she couldn't really do that much. So then Shayna just kind of immediately disposed of Asuka. So it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, that happened. I think all they had to do really was just have Shayna come in 5th, and I think all the problems are avoided. But it Shayna coming in too early kind of ruins this match, so this kind of has to go into average. It's the big reason. It's weird because then Vince didn't, Vince said he wasn't high on Shayna Baszler anymore, and everyone backstage wasn't after her performance here. But she was kind of put in a bad spot here, so I have to put this in the average category. Because, it's a good idea, it just didn't really work in practice. Steve, what about you? Where would you put this match?
I'd put it in average. It was just, it was like you guys kind of said, they had the right idea going into it, but it was just very poorly executed. That's really all there is to say.
Then we had from Elimination Chamber 2021, the first and only one in the pandemic during the Thunderdome era. So, you know, our ratings for this match might be affected, you know, because it's Thunderdome. It's not like a real crowd or anything like that. But it's for a WWE Universal Championship match later that night. It's Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso versus King Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus... missing somebody. I am missing somebody.
It's Cesaro,
yeah,
Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, and Sami.
Steve, do you want to talk about this match? Because you've always had like a big opinion about this match and everything like that.
Unfortunately, I'm about to be driving. I'm going to still be on the show talking, but I won't be able to look at my notes.
I'll just talk about this match. This is a great chamber match. Really a hell of a match. You know, they have Bryan and Cesaro started off. It's a really good starting point. What's really good about this match is you can hear the wrestlers talking. So, you know, you can hear Sami Zayn talking. You can like Kevin Owens talking and like giving instructions, which is great. And at one point they just kick out Sami Zayn's like documentary team that he was making because he was like trying to get like exposed WWE of like conspiracy theories and everything like that. But they kick his documentary team out, so he couldn't get that on film anymore, which was hilarious. And then, you know, they had King Corbin come in and look good. Jey Uso looked awesome in this match. They do a good spot where like he takes out Kevin Owens' arm and like super kicks him and everything, and that's how he gets like eliminated. This was kind of like when Jey was just starting to kind of work with Roman Reigns and everything like that. They did a great elimination with Cesaro. Bryan and Cesaro like really the workhorses in this match. Bryan ends up winning the match, which is really cool. And then he immediately just has a Universal title match like right after that to face Roman Reigns, and he just immediately loses. Which really did a good job, like setting the table for the match at Fastlane, and then the triple threat, and then Daniel Bryan's last match in WWE, at least for this moment, or possibly ever. I would probably put this match in like the great category. Obviously, the thing that hurts this match the most is obviously it's in the Thunderdome, so it's only in front of a crowd, and you know they kind of undo this match a little bit because obviously they have Bryan just lose right afterwards anyway, so it kind of undoes the match, so I would probably put this in the great category. Steve, where would you put this match? Chris, where would you put this match?
Ooh, Steven not there. Steven driving. Steven bad boy. I put this.
Wait.
Where'd you put it? Yeah. It really is great. I thought that the ending at the time was weird, with like Bryan like immediately getting a title match after that and losing. But now hindsight's 2020. Look back on it, it's like Roman Reigns is like peak dickhead right now. So it's like, so it makes sense for that to happen.
I'm back.
Or mid dickhead, not quite peak dickhead. He's peak dickhead a few years in line, but he's at like. He's like on the apex of being dickhead. So that's like in the match. I thought that it's just a great chamber.
Steve, where would you put this chamber match?
I gotta put this one in the great category. I think they did a lot of things right, all things considered, in this match. It really pushed Roman, like Chris just said, into being just more of an asshole, which was what they needed to do with him, because they're still in that era of really proving people that, you know, this isn't the same guy who's shaking hands and kissing babies anymore. You know, you pissed him off, you want the bad guy, here it is.
So then we have the next chamber match, the last one in the Thunderdome era. It's for the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber 2021. It's for the WWE Championship. It's Drew McIntyre defending against AJ Styles, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, and somebody else. I'm not sure who it is.
AJ, Jeff Hardy,
Kofi.
Randy, and Sheamus.
Yeah, I think this is a good chamber. You know, they did a good thing where they had you know, I think it was I forget who started. I think it was Randy and Jeff start, which was good. and then they had Drew come in. He came in third. They do some good spots here. They do some like weird bits. They do a bit where like Kofi eliminates early, like really early into the match, and it was just really weird. And then afterwards, Randy Orton goes on like a rampage and lays out everybody with RKO's. And then they have like Omos, who was like ringside with AJ Styles, like rip his pod off so that way he could get the jump on. But then it didn't work, so then it was like really stupid. So I was like, okay, that was pointless. And then Sheamus was good in this match. He looked really good. They did a really cool phenomenal form to Sheamus, and then they did a really good like Claymore kick when Drew McIntyre caught Styles, and then so the Chamber match I probably put the great, but this is where the post match kind of ruins it. Then they have like Lashley attack him, and then they have like Miz cash in Money in the Bank and just win the championship for really no reason. Because it's like they didn't really want to have Bobby Lashley beat Drew for the belt, but this kind of sucks because this is obviously with hindsight, because then Drew could have at least walked into WrestleMania with fans with the title, but that didn't happen. So I would probably put this in the good category. It's really the post-match stuff that kind of ruins this. Steve, where would you put the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match?
Literally everything he said is why I'm sticking it in the good category. I can't kid myself into saying, oh, yeah, Drew McIntyre won the title at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, but you can talk about how inspiring the whole them doing the Thunderdome era was. And it was. Don't get me wrong. They persevered and they entertained the fans. It's great. But let me just ask you the most basic questions. Drew McIntyre winning the title, was it real? Yeah, it goes down in the record books. Yeah, if you look at the list of WWE champions, his name's on there. But in all honesty, Owen, can you say yes? It
didn't feel real, especially too.
I can't.
Anytime.
But you know what the worst part is?
It's still real to me, damn it.
The worst part is I gotta say it wasn't real twice, because I forget that he lost the belt to Orton for like a month and then won it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you ever notice too? When they show him winning the WWE Championship, they never show the first one anymore. They only show the second one. They never show the first title win anymore. Like in the.
Yeah.
No, they don't. No, you can cry about it now. Or not, because he's not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Crying about it anymore.
Oh, we lost Steve.
The thing is like. Yeah, the ultimate. What it ultimately comes down to is, Drew's kind of gotten screwed. Yeah, it ultimately comes down to just Drew. Thankfully, I think they're on the cusp of taking everything I just mentioned, where, yes, he was champion, but he was robbed of the moment. I think they're on the cusp of him using that as fuel for him to challenge Seth at WrestleMania. And, he can come out and say, I'm going to win the title. And if you people don't go absolutely crazy like I knew you would have at WrestleMania 36, then I promise you're going to be in for the worst title reign of all time or something like that.
There you go.
Where he just really embraces the whole Scottish psychopath
There
character.
you go. So where would you put this? What tier?
For right now, I gotta go good.
All right, Chris, your vote doesn't matter right now, but you still have an opinion. So what's going on here?
I don't fucking care. Okay, about that. My opinion doesn't fucking matter. Huh?
You gotta be the voice of the voiceless, though. You gotta say something.
Meow.
All right, that's something. It's going in the good category then.
Yeah, one of the good category, because my opinion doesn't matter, so don't get into it. Good. See, good.
All right, so then we have first Elimination Chamber match back.
Finally,
first Elimination Chamber match back with fans. The first international version of the Elimination Chamber from 2022. It's from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's a women's chamber match. The winner was going to face Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38. It's Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss. Yeah, this match is kind of average. It's very rushed. It goes very fast. It's like they rush through it. They have this whole rule where like you come in every 5 minutes. I feel like there was definitely not 5 minutes in between intervals. It was just really weird. And then say that again. Yeah.
There really never
That
is.
definitely wasn't here though. They rushed through this match very quickly. The crowd wasn't into it very much. They were very dead. Well, they weren't actually dead, but they just weren't making any noise. But
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you have to make note of that when they're in Saudi Arabia. They weren't
and then they did this weird bit where, if you remember, this was when Alexa Bliss was doing all those like therapy segments, and you know, they were slowly transitioning her character back to the goddess, and then all of a sudden they just randomly brought her back for this pay-per-view. Legit on commentary, during Alexa's entrance is like, oh yeah, she's all cured now and everything like that. Then Michael Cole had to go into his chair and just be like, wait, I don't think she's cured. Like, no one knew what was going on with Alexa Bliss here. It was so weird, and then she just lost here. I think this has to go in the average. Yeah, this has to go in the average category. It was just a really, it was like a boring chamber match, but it wasn't trashy. Either the right person won in the end, but it was just very average. It was just kind of whatever. Chris, we'll let your vote matter this time. Where is this going?
Yeah, average.
Right. Steve, where's this going?
This one's going in average.
All right, then we have from that same show, it's the men's chamber match. It's for the WWE Championship. The last time the WWE title would be defended on its own at an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. It's WWE Champion Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus Riddle versus Austin Theory. This match is trash. It's not good. The people that start out the match don't even make sense. It's like Austin Theory and Seth Rollins. It was just really weird. This was when Austin Theory was in like Vince's Chosen One type of stage, and he was just really forced down our throats at this time. No one really cared about him. And then Bobby Lashley gets taken out of the match without coming out of his pod because we found out that he had an injury later on. But we didn't really know what was going on. We thought he got injured in the match, but then we found out that he was injured coming into the match, so... yeah, they had to take him out, so they couldn't do anything with him. They just have Brock pretty much destroy everybody in this match, and they just put the title right back on him. Admittedly, they do a cool thing where, like, he F5s Theory off the thing, but this was just really a waste of time. I put this in trash. I didn't like this match at all. It's terrible. Steve, where were you putting this match?
I'm putting this one right in the garbage as well. It's going to a trash category. I just can't justify giving it anything higher. It's just not a good chamber match. I wasn't entertained. I didn't care much for the participants. It had that one good spot, but that's really it.
All right, Chris, you got to say something here. So where's this going?
Besides Big Man doing the verdict. It's trash.
And then we have the last two now from last year. The first one, Elimination Chamber 2023. They're in another country. They're in Canada now. This is the women's chamber match.
Let's go.
The winner was gonna face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. It was between Nikki Cross versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Asuka versus Carmella. Versus other people. I have to look it up. Liv Morgan was in there. Natalya was in there. Somebody else was in there.
Yeah, so Carmella, Liv, Natalya, and Nikki. And
I love this match. I think it's great. It's a very great chamber match here. Everything makes sense about it. Natalya gets the home crowd reaction. Raquel looks really good in this match. Nikki looks like a psychopath in this match. And I feel like they booked Carmella very well in this match. So I would put this in like the great category. I think I remember the crowd helped this match a lot because they were really into it and everything like that. So I would put this in the great category. Chris, let's let that vote of yours matter. Where's this going?
Yeah, let's go. The goes after all my votes should always matter. Yeah, this is great.
Canada, Montreal, Quebec, Canada was on fire for this whole show.
every match got a huge pop, and especially hometown boy, Mr. Sami Zayn, did too. But this match was fantastic. It's great.
All right, Steve, where's this going? I mean, it's already decided, but you still gotta say something.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it's going in the great category for me too. I think the right person won. When considering factors on why isn't it going into Hall of Fame, I think something along the lines of Oscar should have won the belt at WrestleMania comes to mind. But it's definitely a solidified great elimination.
And we should mention too, this was like the first chamber match since Triple H took over as head of creative and everything like that. So, there you go. All right, then we have the last of the chamber matches. It's the same show, Elimination Chamber 2023. It's for the United States Championship, the first time ever the U.S. title had been fought for inside the Elimination Chamber. It's Austin Theory defending against Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano, Seth frickin' Rollins, Montez Ford, Damian Priest. I think that's everybody. There's a Hall of Fame. There's a hell of a chamber match here. Everybody got to participate at once before an elimination happened. Everybody had like a shining moment in this match. Montez Ford looked like a freaking star in this match. And I just think it's a Hall of Fame. And the way that Seth Rollins gets screwed over with Logan Paul coming out and everything like that, the way they kind of go about that's really good. And it's really Austin Theory's like little last hurrah thing that he does before WrestleMania happens and everything like that. And I think this goes into Hall of Fame. I think this is a hell of a chamber match. It's awesome. Chris, since it's the last one, let's let your vote matter. Where's this going?
Yeah, let's go. This is Hall of Fame for sure. I love Logan Paul coming in at the end. I think Seth Rollins the match because his ass beat at WrestleMania. So that's all that matters to me. But yeah, I thought this is Hall of Fame.
Steve, where's this going?
This one's going in Hall of Fame for me as well. I really, really enjoyed this chamber. I think last year's Elimination Chamber was just one of the best in years. You had a great chamber and a Hall of Fame caliber chamber. The match was really well done, really well paced. Everybody came out looking better than they did when they walked in. And I look forward to what Perth, Australia has to show.
All right, so we put everything in the tiers, though, but we have to decide what's the best and worst of that tier. We got to make a decision when it comes to that. So we're going to go through each tier. But I think how we did this before, Chris, right? We did this left to right, right? Okay. Left was the worst and right was the best, right? That's how we did this? Okay. All right.
Left to right.
We're going to start with... I'm going to save trash for last, because I think that one's going to be tougher for us to decide. Let's do the average first. Is the Elimination Chamber 2003 match the worst out of all of them? Because we also have in there the 2010 WWE title one, the 2011 World Heavyweight title one, the 2011 WWE title one, the one that Cena wins where he faces The Miz, the World Heavyweight title one where Santino's in it, the one that Jack Swagger wins, the women's one where Shayna dominates, and then the Saudi Arabia women's one. Is that worse than all of them, or no?
I honestly don't even know, to be honest with you.
Alright, so maybe I'll start making some decisions here.
It's tough, it's honestly, it's tough to, with one person, it's easier to do, but, with a match like this, it's really tough to determine
maybe
how we're going to do this. I don't think we do matches themselves. I think we should just do it if we're going to do people instead.
I think I can make a decision here, though. How about I put things places and I'll just ask you and you guys can see if you agree with them. So, let's see.
Yeah.
I think, let's see. I think the Cena one is the one that Cena wins the face of The Miz is the worse than the one that Edge wins in 2011. I think that one's worse. I would say the one that Edge wins is worse than the one that, that Santino's in. I would say the one that Shayna wins is worse, is the second worst in the average category. Yeah, the one that, and then, this one probably goes like... Alright, so here's how it's going to go for average. You can see if you guys agree with this. So in average, from left to right, worst to best is SummerSlam 03, Women's Elimination Chamber 2020, Saudi Arabia Women's 2022, the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber from 2010, the one that Cena went to 2011, the one that Edge went to 2011, and then the World Heavyweight Championship from 2012, and then the Elimination Chamber from 2013. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah, that's good. I like
Yeah, I
that.
agree.
Okay, let's do good now, and I'll kind of put things in places. Okay, let's see. So yeah, let's make a decision. I think put the tag one here. I think we'll keep this where it is. I think it's better than this one. Better than that one. Yeah, better than that one. Better than that one. I know you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm not making any commentary. I'm just making decisions right now. It's better than the tag one, yes. Better than the tag one's better than this. That's tag one's better than this. So I need to go here, and that needs to go there. No, I'm sorry. I'm doing the wrong thing. Hold on. Women's, let's say, is worse than. Actually, no. Yeah, I gotta put this one. I know. I'm making my decisions in real time. Okay, then that's fine. Okay, then this can go right here. This can go right there. This can go right there. I know you're probably hearing like, oh, this is going here, there, everywhere. It's like, oh, what? Yeah, no. Okay, that can go.
Here, there, here, there.
Yeah,
Here.
it's better. Okay. I'm just making decisions. Just let me make my decisions. Okay. That there. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. I think this has to go. I don't know. This. There, maybe. No, this here. See, I'm making my decisions in real time. Okay, that's fine. This has to kind of go like. It's worse than that one. It's worse than that. No, this one might be worse than that one. Alright. Final decision. So for the good, from worst to best, left to right, I put, the WWE Championship one from the Thunderdome era. The one that Taker wins in 08. The first ever women's one. The first ever tag one. The WWE Championship one from 2012 that CM Punk wins. The Universal Championship one that Roman wins in 2018. The first ever women's tag team one. The one that Triple H wins in 2008, and then the one where Edge gets eliminated in like the first 5 minutes. Like the best out of that. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Steve, are you in agreement with that one?
Everything's good.
All right, so then we gotta
Sounds
make
good to
decisions
me.
when it comes to great. Okay, so
None of them. How about that?
okay, so I think this one can go here. That one can go there. I can go there. Oh, this one I think this one has to go there. Very end. Like thinking maybe this like goes here. Maybe that there. That's there. That's there. That's there. Whatever we can do. Trying to think. Maybe that's here. This here. Okay. Alright, from left to right in the great category. We have the SmackDown one in 2021 and the Thunderdome era that Bryan wins is the worst. The tag one from 2020. The 2005 one, the 2014 one, the women's one from 2023. The World Heavyweight Championship one from 2010, and then the one where Edge takes Kofi's spot. Chris, are you in agreement with that?
Yes, everything.
Steve?
That looks good. Uh-oh. Steven? Uh-oh.
Are you in agreement with great? With great.
I am in agreement.
All right, which one should I do next? Because these are like the Hall of Fame or trash.
Save Hall of Fame for last.
Yeah,
All right,
so let's go trash.
I think that's gonna stay there. That
Yeah.
can't move. The Extreme Elimination Chamber can't move. I think it's good there.
Yeah, I was kind of.
I think we kind of
I think
put it in the right order.
I was debating between obviously the IC title one and the Extreme one, but I will say with the IC title one, it wasn't WWE's fault because Mark Henry's pod came out too early. I think the Extreme one was all WWE's fault. So,
yeah, that was WWE's fault.
All right, so let me make some decisions with Hall of Fame. Okay. All right, so Hall of Fame. From worst to best. I mean, it's Hall of Fame, but you have to make a decision. The United States Championship one, the WWE Championship one that Cena wins when Edge cashes in. Actually, no, wait, that's probably better than the 2017 one. But so let me start that over. So the United States Championship one, the one where Bray Wyatt wins the WWE title, the one where Edge cashes in after Cena wins, Kofi Mania, and then the first one. Steve, do you agree?
I agree. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read it one more time from trash to average that way. So from in the trash category, from worst to best, left to right, the worst one is the Extreme Elimination Chamber, the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber from 2015, and then the Men's WWE Championship Saudi Arabia one in 2022. In the average category from worst to best, we have the SummerSlam 2003 one, the Women's one from 2020, the Women's one from 2022, the WWE Championship one from 2010, the one that Cena wins in 2011, and then the one that Edge wins in 2011, and then the one that Daniel Bryan wins in 2012, and then the Elimination Chamber match from 2013. And then in the good category from worst to best, we have the WWE Championship one from 2021, the one that Undertaker wins in 2008, the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match, the first ever Tag Team Elimination Chamber match, the WWE Championship one from 2012, and then the one that Roman Reigns wins in 2018, the first ever Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match in 2019, the one that Triple H wins in 2008, and then the one where Edge gets eliminated in the first 5 minutes in 2009. And then in the great category from worst to best, we have the SmackDown one from 2021, the men's one. We have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match from 2020, the Elimination Chamber match from 2005, the Elimination Chamber match from 2014, the women's one from 2023, the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match from 2010, and then the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match from 2009. And then for Hall of Fame, we have the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match from 2023, the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match from 2017, the 2006 Elimination Chamber match, the Kofi Mania Elimination Chamber match from 2019, and then the first ever Elimination Chamber match. So that is our tier list for every single Elimination Chamber match that's ever happened, which I think is just awesome. I think that's really special and just great stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this nice little tier list. We plan on keeping doing this. We have other ones that we're gonna do it for. But yeah, the next two that are gonna be, and Chris, you might be here for this. Steve, you might be here for this one. Maybe John will be here for the next one. The next one is going to be I want to do WrestleMania main events and WrestleMania openers will be the next couple of tier lists that we're gonna do. Just because WrestleMania time's coming up, so
All right.
definitely brush up on your WrestleMania main event knowledge. Which one do you guys want to?
That's something we should do closer to.
Yeah, we
WrestleMania.
are. We're gonna do one like in March. We're gonna do one. We're gonna do one in
Yeah.
like maybe after Easter, and then we'll do one like the go home week of WrestleMania type of thing. So,
Yeah.
which one do you guys want to do first though? Openers or main events?
Let's do openers. Let's save main events because it's a big thing for
Right.
the go home.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I think the go home week for WrestleMania is after Easter.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. So
Whatever goes.
We could always skip years and just change it to
yeah, but then we have to
WrestleManias
watch them all.
overall.
So it's like I'd rather you do make less work, make less for because some of the longer ones are pretty long. So I think if we do main events, it would be more manageable. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's do our plugs of promotion. Steve, we'll start with you. You started off at your house, and now you're just driving around.
Yeah, I'm just driving around, being a menace to society. It's the best kind of wrestling gimmick there is.
So a police officer up to no good.
Yeah. No, my plug for the day. My plug for the day is going to be just watch Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Getting up at 5 a.m.
Oh, there's a kickoff.
Yay!
There's a kickoff at 4 a.m. So you have to get up for that.
No, it's not. You don't even bother. They talk
would-
for an hour and a half. Wake up at 4:30.
They talk for an hour and a half. Booker T talks about ducks. Caleb Braxton smiles like an idiot, and then the show starts.
Exactly.
There you go.
Here's my plug. I am officially bringing back the predictions title at WrestleMania this year.
We'll see if that happens.
Oh, it's happening, but are you predicting?
We'll
That's
see.
a real.
We'll see.
You say a lot of things are gonna happen, and then they never happen.
Well,
Like
it's because
he was gonna show up that one time and he never did.
he never did. Yet.
How's he gonna show up? He's got nowhere to show up to.
That's a good point.
But yeah, Chris, why don't you? Yeah, hey, you can show up at Chris's house because that wouldn't matter. Chris never puts his freaking camera on, so that wouldn't matter if he showed up at Chris's house. But yeah, Chris,
Never.
why don't you do your plugs of promotion and everything like that?
I have relatively the same plug and promote. Just watch the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Please, if a favor, too, look up the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Also because it's very pro WWE this time, which is shocking. I think it was. I put it in the chat. I'll have to look for it. But right now, it'll take me 2 seconds. The only ones that actually fucking matter. Triple H won Booker of the Year, Nick Khan won Promoter of the Year, and WWE won Promotion of the Year. So look up that.
Wait, did you say did Nick Khan, not Tony Khan, won promoter?
Yep.
Wow.
Because
That is. I mean,
they
that just
finally
goes to
decided
show.
to use the little pea brains.
That just goes to show what we all know is AEW. I think took a hit in
They did, yeah.
2023.
Don't worry, they're out to Forbidden Door 3 like anyone cares.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the cheap shots they throw at WWE are just getting very old.
Oh, and by the way, Triple H won in a landslide.
Yeah, I mean,
It wasn't even close.
but
It
I
was
will say this.
300 votes.
I will say this. I don't think Tony Khan would win Worst Promoter of the Year because that lovely award would go to Triple H's best friend in the whole world, Shawn
No.
Michaels' lazy eye.
Billy Corgan. Billy
Michael Sean
Corgan.
Hickenbottom?
Billy Corgan.
Oh, yeah, you got a good point there, Billy.
They're actually still on the CW app, though. So they didn't really totally get wiped off the CW.
He still won most He's still.
Billy Corgan. I mean, that'll probably win worst business
he will.
tactic of the year.
But
Still Saudi Arabia, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But anyhow,
no surprise there.
let's end this. I have stuff coming up. Just check out Owen the Talkinator and this channel for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. And since it's being recorded in the past, we will talk to you guys later.